stream started.
I'm ready. I'm here all night.
All right. Well, after a prophetic and interesting encounter with a metallic-seeming forest creature, you return to the caravan and we're sort of back on your way again. You are now about a full 24 hours out from the much larger city of Daggerford. You know that for many people this is final destination on the caravan. Probably about half of them. Half will continue on the road to Waterdeep, and it's very likely more people will join into the caravan as it passes through. Probably expecting to stop in Daggerford for about a day or two before the caravan continues north. Yeah, so in terms of your return, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe you transported... God, this woman. Transported most of the cultist wagon loot in the form of all kinds of valuables, fancy plates, cups, coins, jewelry. You transported that back over several loads using like a bucket and your bag of holding to your own keg that you have anchored up on your main wagon, yeah?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Did we keep it in the bag of holding, most of it, or did we just spill it all out?
No, we couldn't. We had to like take it in chunks because the bag only holds a certain amount.
Probably.
And then we dumped the rest of it in the barrel. So the barrel's like full of loot.
Alright.
But there's still stuff in the bag of holding from like the last trip, or did
yeah, the
you
last.
dump every? Okay.
No. Oh, sorry. So the very last trip didn't include any of that stuff. I dumped all of that out. So my bag of holding is back to whatever I have.
Yeah. Okay.
In it before the adventure.
We have like a 2-story tall
so you
barrel
dumped
full of
everything
gold.
out. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I have a list of things that are still in my bag of holding.
Tell me when.
By all means, yeah. I mean, that's kind of.
Oh, I'm curious. When we get there, do you think any of these items would be easily recognizable? Like any of the, I guess not. Probably not. Like, because they were stolen from so far away, right? I was just thinking, like, I could smelt them down if we needed to smelt them down into like raw.
Or
you just
I
already smelt things.
I already smelt them. They don't smell like nothing. Here, put this up to your nose. Take a deep. It doesn't smell.
We'll just keep going. It's great. This is a fantastic time.
No one will recognize.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
I don't understand why he wants to smell.
Sorry.
Unless the families of Greenest are somehow in Daggerford, looking out for their plates.
Actually, I am curious though. Like looking, we've had plenty of time to look through the loot and stuff.
Yeah.
Are there any like obviously recognizable symbols of maybe famous houses or anything from the areas that we were at?
Roll a history check.
And while you're checking your history, I just want you all to know that Nine is wearing more rings than he came in with.
Your fingers are like full of rings, right? Like.
Yeah, and I got my hands under my armpits right now. Yes.
Yeah.
But I look suspicious.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Auric, you recognize a few family crests on pieces of like goblets and plates and things like that. One of them, the letters read G and S. The other ones read C and K.
Alright, well, I recognize a couple of these, so maybe it'd be worthwhile to just smelt the things that we know can be easily recognizable. Don't worry, I'll take care of it.
Okay.
Or you're gonna need like a fire and furnace.
Yeah.
Do we have one of those?
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Okay, alright. Gra wants to check on his little pouch of mud that he's collected.
Okay. Yep.
Do I see anything purple sprouting?
Make a nature check.
What? Check.
Still looks like the same old mud in a jar to you.
Oh, God damn. All right, put the cap
I'm not
on
sure
top.
what's wrong with it. Maybe it just needs more time.
All right.
You, if anyone's not doing anything specific, you probably will be approaching Daggerford just around supper time.
I'm definitely
You
Song
still
of
have a
Resting people.
full day ahead of you. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I'm definitely Song of Resting people, you
Mm.
know? And, I can't remember, what did we do with the bodies on the cart?
You burned them, and
Yeah,
then
burnt them up.
also shot some crossbows into there. But one of you who's good with words talked your way out of it, and basically picked up one of the burnt crossbows within the wagon, implying that they were probably their own, or their numerous people had crossbows.
You messaged them, I believe.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that was lucky. That was good.
Worked out aight.
Yep.
So basically, yeah, their burnt husk of a wagon was just hauled off of the road, and the caravan moved on without them.
I have a crafting question that will be very brief, so we can get to the main point of everything.
Sure.
We talked about work had done some research on some of the items that were discarded in wherever that was, El Turl.
Yeah.
And we concluded like to add flame to some kind of weapon would take like 10 days with an apprentice. I think we said 25 gold pieces a day. Are there like what kind of instruments, like tools and stuff would we need? Like, could I do that on the like part of the trip, or is that like I need like a forge and I need like a place to imbue?
Yeah, I think you would need a bit of downtime, right? Like, 10 days to working on. So I mean, like, I imagine unless you fucking pimped out your wagon a bit more, you would have to like be stopped somewhere to do it.
Okay, cool. That's all I got.
Alright. Anyone else?
Hey, Grink.
Hey.
Looks like it's gonna be dinner time soon. You wanna cook anything special?
Yeah. But, how about some...
How about some cocktail?
Let me check my book.
Some
I only have
fried-
2 recipes in my book. I could use more recipes in my book. We've been eating the same damn food for months.
let's cook up this cocktail in celebration of our journey's end.
Oh, you have the cocktail?
Yeah, I got cocktail.
Oh, I don't
Hey.
have any anymore.
Listen, I'm mighty parched. How is our beer brewing coming along?
Oh, let me check that for you guys.
Oh, I'm very thirsty. That sounds delicious.
Grog
I
goes
checked
and
too.
All right, I uncork 2 of the barrels with my 2 big hands.
You still have the barrels in the big trailer with all the loot, or where are they?
There's like little spigots coming out of the sides of the wagon.
Yeah, but I thought you had like a few small barrels inside there, right?
Yeah.
Did you
Okay.
mix this with greenest weed?
I look at Krennic.
Has anyone ever done it before? Like
What?
a stout made from?
I'm playing inspiration
Hop.
to them.
Hops infused with
Oh my god,
greenest weed.
I don't know why we haven't thought of
that
that.
sounds amazing.
Gra pours a little bit into a cup, and then he kind of like sprinkles a little weed into it so that
like
I
a
can't
garnish.
see. Yeah, like a garnish on top.
Ooh,
And then I swirl around.
Like a mojito
Hey, cat, come here.
with weed.
What do you think?
It's like
And I-
catnip to him.
I hand
yeah,
it off. I hand off to them.
all about trying this going on this new
That
adventure.
tail's
Tom
like
Haverford.
getting-
Yeah. I
his
sniff
tail.
it.
His tail's going crazy.
Mmm,
What's it taste like?
like weed.
Well, I mean, it's greenest weed, at least.
And grog.
It is the good stuff.
Oh, we could call it green grog.
Green grog. Actually, one of these barrels has Carver's cider in it.
Oh,
try it on that, too?
Carver's cider. Krennic, maybe you should go,
Well, have they fermented long enough? Can we, like, drink it or sell it?
Oh.
Sure you can. Check this out. And I hand over a little spice Carver's cider to Oric. How's it taste?
I'll drink with... You know, that's a great question.
Oh!
Pretty
It
damn
tastes
fantastic.
awesome.
That's amazing.
Can't believe I wasted that roll on fucking beverage, but
I
hey,
think it's-
delicious.
I
Might
looked to
argue
Krennic.
it's pretty solid.
Is
I
that
don't know.
the cider one? Excuse me, is that the cider you're drinking?
Yeah,
It is.
yeah, it's pretty tasty. Here, why don't you try some?
Fucking slurp that shit up.
Okay.
I nod to Krennic. I nod again.
How do I have to roll about how high I am right now?
You can do it. Let's do
How
it.
does this part work?
roll
Or do I even know what's gonna
percentage.
happen? I don't even know.
Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
There you go.
Your
That's way
will is
better.
broken.
Come on.
You're gonna get like a 2.
Not today.
You're pretty fucking high.
Oh no!
Yeah, that shit's
This is
that shit's tingling
great.
in like your fucking nasal passageways just from the scent, and now that you've drank it. Oh
Mm.
man.
I feel like I'm just laying back
You're like in the
on
wagon,
some
like-
sacks. Back the wagon. I'm just
Large
enjoying
sacks.
my day now.
The method acting is real.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you guys wind on, checking your brews, swinging in the hammock, clopping along.
Oh, you know, there were 2 other wagons, right?
You think out loud as you make a perception check.
Oh, you mean
Yeah.
the other wagons of the enemies
Mhm,
that we
mhm,
just slaughtered?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can all make,
Three
you
of
can all
them.
make a perception check.
We've been making googly eyes at everybody.
Oh, what am I perceiving?
Literally what he just said.
I was up.
Enemies.
Oh.
Enemy, the 2 wagons.
Oh, there you
I'm
go. There
back
it is.
on track, boys.
He's back.
I didn't
Wait.
even miss a step. I'm even using the Steam controller. Something's
Where
fucked up,
is
man.
my stupid?
Hey, welcome to the life of a Palandor.
Oh no, I
No,
did
no,
roll
no.
it in.
Yeah.
This is
welcome to the
I
Ah!
order.
What? I saw a 2, and then it turned into a 20.
I saw
it
it too as
That's
well.
Amazing.
Well, guess what, bitches?
Dice-
The
sees
numbers
everything.
don't
Chat rooms.
lie. These
Yeah.
hips don't lie. What do I perceive?
How did you
So
have
every-
a +4?
9, you don't see anything because you are in a hammock
figure.
swinging away.
That makes sense. I am high as balls. That does make absolute
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, you should have had disadvantage or maybe advantage. I don't know.
This is perfect.
Depends on what you're perceiving. Everyone else, Auric and Krennic, you definitely notice a not strange, but certainly not stealthy rider, kind of riding along with the caravan, and like sort of strolling along. Each one kind of like peering in a little bit too long, and kind of just making his way through the caravan. Obviously able on just a single horse, able to kind of surpass the speed of this thing with ease. And he definitely seems suspicious. Gra, you notice them noticing and lock eyes with this motherfucker, and you immediately notice like a reaction in his brow, and you recognize him from the camp of the dragon cultists, even though right now he looks like just a caravan merchant, like a well-dressed in all kinds of fineries. And as his brow raise drops and that sort of slow motion moment passes, he fucking giddy-ups back towards the front of the caravan wagon. And
Grant
not-
wasn't disguised?
Yeah. He
I wasn't disguised. Was I disguised? Well,
You
I
had,
just
we gave you the disguise, that hat of disguise for a reason.
I'm gonna riff off what Fiddy said. Like maybe Gra was doing
Forgot
push-ups
one
on
round.
top of the barrel, and like the hat fell off in like a moment of
shit.
sweat, right? And like all of a sudden this giant Goliath appears on top of this barrel doing push-ups.
Maybe we let the
Yeah.
fates decide.
9 sits up and goes, "Did you guys see that? Tom Haverford." And then he lays back down.
Is this a Gra only thing, or did Krennic see it?
Gra only, and then Gra, like as this guy moves past you, you look back to your eyes, whatever's going on. But a moment later, you hear like a lot of like whoa, 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 and there's a lot of sounds, rumbling, dust kicking up as the caravan appears to be grinding to a halt for yet another reason.
Right, the guy looks back at our caravan, at our cart, and all he sees is like a barrel where Gra was, with like a little cork hole and an eyeball sticking out. He doesn't quite realize that it's an eyeball, and then he sees everyone from our cart run over to the barrel and like put their hands on it. Hey guys, come here.
Wow, what is it?
Oric is inside the cart. He can't hear you.
Look, I was doing push-ups up here, and I was getting my fucking workout on. And I looked over, and you won't believe what I saw. Guess what I saw.
A dragon?
No, it was that guy. It was one of
Tom
those guys
Haverford.
from the fucking... It was from the dragon camp. It was one of those meat-cleaving guys, but he was all bejeweled out. He looks like he's got a whole bunch of gold now. He definitely saw me.
Where'd he go?
He went for it. He's the guy who booked it. Up to the front. He's yelling "whoa" right now. Literally, if you look forward, he's yelling "whoa" to his horse.
Oric, whatever you're tinkering with, like slides out of control. Who's driving the wagon?
I thought 9 was.
I think I was.
Nine's taking a
but now
nap.
I'm ham.
No.
And high as fuck.
I'm like really high.
Oh boy.
Oh
So-
boy. 9. So
roll?
Oric, roll a dexterity save.
Oh
Nine
no! The
roll
cart's going
dexterity
over.
save.
Hey, can I
sir.
perceive if I mean, I feel like Oric would know if
Yeah.
Nine was high off of his ass, because if he was,
Yeah. No. Just go with me on this.
fed
Just
it
go
to
with
me.
me and roll a dexterity save.
I believe.
That's all right. I believe too. Oh no!
I was gonna say, fail this dexterity as fast as you can. Just do it.
No!
9.
Okay.
You feel like the wave of an ocean just rocking your ship, but you are just comfortably just glazed out, feeling.
I've been here before.
Feeling fine, like you are unfazed.
Yeah.
Oric, you look
Yeah.
up as your tools, whatever you're ticking with, just go
no.
0G in front of you as you go face planting into the ground. Roll a D8.
Oric, what is you doing down
That's
there?
a lot of damage to take.
All right, you slam your jaw painfully into the deck of the lower level. I'm imagining you were kind of up in the loft right now. And it's just, unfortunate incident occurs. You take 3 points of damage as you slam into the ground, and you look up, and just kind of smiling back at you is Grimline. Says, "I'm so sorry, Oric. I'm still getting the hang of this cart driving."
That
And
motherfucker.
he kind of just smiles back at you.
Oh, he did it on purpose. He did it on purpose.
Brake checked us.
Actually, okay, hold on.
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
Retaliation.
You notice that all of you notice that the entire caravan is grinding to a halt right now.
I am inciting the shit out of Grimlock.
Grimlock?
Did he do it
I
on
wanna
purpose?
know if that was a devious act or if that was.
Look at that eye.
Is this? Are we going through teenage rebellion? Is that what we're going through right now?
I will fucking rip that
Teenage
crown off
Groot.
his head so
I
goddamn
know,
fast.
I know.
So help me.
You feel like it wasn't on purpose, but he definitely took a little bit of pleasure in what just occurred.
Oh, gross.
You look up in here and see like the entire caravan, all fucking near 100 wagons are grinding to a halt all around you in the fucking back. You guys are kind of near the middle front, so.
I want to run up to the top of the barrel and see if I can see what Gra saw.
Okay.
The guy yelling "whoa."
Yeah, Grimla managed to not crash the wagon, but
A little finger comes out of the hole.
it's a little
in Gra's
messy in
barrel.
there. You fly up.
That way. I don't know. I don't fly.
Okay.
I'm not trying to give myself away. It's
Okay.
like I just climb on
Alright.
top where Gra was yelling down at me. He's like, I'm doing push-ups, and then I saw this. And
Yep.
then I just wanted to climb up to where he's at. Be like, which
Okay.
way?
All right.
Little finger
I want
comes
to
out.
see the guy. Okay, do I see the guy?
This guy riding. You do, and you kind of see several people walking towards the front of the line, like where like the head of the caravan is.
Walking? Oh, so I
Yeah,
do
yeah.
see the guy, but then there's a different set of people who are...
So like up here near the front of the caravan, you see a couple people getting out, walking towards, like this is like a top-down view, like walking towards the front of the caravan. You see this guy riding up, you know, probably, I don't know, at this point, like 400 feet and gaining past your wagon.
Oh shit, 400 feet away?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my
he's
God.
riding pretty fast, like on horseback.
What do we do?
stopped.
Do we catch him or do we let him go?
There's nothing we could do now.
No, we could go catch him.
No, turn into a barrel with me.
A bear? I can't. I can
Well, come
fly
in.
after him and catch him.
No. You can't. There's too many people.
What if I shot him with an arrow, a poisoned arrow from here?
I think that would be a terribly bad idea.
Oh,
We should let him go.
let him go?
Like the song.
Let him go. Let him go. All right, let's do it. Fine. We're letting him go. And I go back. I'm all kind of pissed. Go downstairs. Everybody, we've been spotted by dragon cultists, and we're just letting him go.
We're doing what now?
Well, he's too far away, and he's surrounded by people. Everyone's stopping. We're caught.
Krennic, have you been drinking more of the greenest weed?
Look,
beer
I need to
brew?
make sure that it's going
more?
to come out right.
Is there more back there?
But also, what are you
Maybe
talking
not a
about?
lot. A cultist from the
Okay.
dragon camp, Grossaw. That way.
Grog kind of like monkeys down into the big barrel through the
Hey.
porthole on top.
Hey, Gra, listen.
Uh-huh.
Why don't you, an orc just kind of looks up and down at the barrel form of Gra. Could you maybe, use the hat to disguise yourself in another way and go see what is going on and why?
Sure,
these
I make a
slab
really good fat
breaks?
merchant. You want me to fat merchant?
Yes. That merchant.
Krennic, you're also... Wait, who else is good at disguise?
Nah,
And he
I'm
kinda-
good. I'm good. Here.
Okay.
Maybe I
And I
could
put
wear
up
it
my
like
hood.
He looks over at... Orc
Is
looks
there
over
more
at...
greenest beer?
Yeah. Looks over at 9, and 9's just like... Ooh. Okay, yeah, Krennic, why don't you go, and I'm gonna just, sit here with Grimlaw for a minute.
You want me to
Okay.
take the cat?
No, don't take the cat.
he can't
no,
move.
He's fine here.
Oh, he doesn't need to if he's my woolen brooch,
No, he's
my
fine.
scarf.
No, let him enjoy his afternoon. Let's
Hey,
go.
and Krennic, if you get an opportunity if you see this dragon cultist fellow, perhaps we have some questions for him.
That's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
Yes. Gron, let's
Yeah.
go.
Alright, Gra transforms himself magically. There's like glitter that goes everywhere. And then he transforms into a fat, old fucking merchant with a big old beard, and he smells bad. And he's a beer merchant.
Okay. So who's all going with this beer merchant now?
Just Krennic.
Just Krennic? Okay. You guys are walking up on foot?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, the caravan has completely come to a stop. You two begin walking up ahead. It's not like a fucking mob scene, but there are like a handful of other people from different carts kind of getting up, wondering what the fuck's going on this time now. There's been general chatter throughout the 30-ish days, 40 days that have passed. A lot of comments about how it's been shocking how bandit-free this particular journey has been. And you begin walking towards the front here. Are you going all the way? You don't see anything really out of the ordinary at this point.
Nothing's out of the ordinary?
No.
Do I see any covered wagons that resemble the one that we torched at all on our way up?
Sorry, do you notice any other torched wagons or wagons that
Wagons
look
that look of that model.
No, you do not. No.
Okay, yeah, we keep going all the way up to the front.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's stay. Let's see if we can stay within sight of the horse.
Yeah.
Okay.
He won't
Fine,
recognize
Captain.
us.
I agree. My disguise is perfect.
Yeah, me too. Just a hood. Sorry.
Okay. You.
So, can we
Uh-oh.
still see him?
Yeah. You see him
Okay, cool. I want to see if he
Just-
talks to anybody.
dismounted near the front. He's kind of just standing in line with a semicircle of about 6 other people.
Oh,
He's truly just blends in with all of them, like anyone else in this group up here. And you hear like one man just loudly claim like something along the lines of like, well, he probably deserves it and should just be left here. Let's ride over him.
Oh no!
And they keep gesturing to the center of the road.
Alright, I elbow Krennic and I move in a little closer.
Yeah, let's get close.
Yeah.
We're getting closer.
Okay. You get in closer. And buried fairly recently, there's still some loose dirt, but buried up into its head is a reptilian humanoid-looking face in the center of the road.
And then 9 walks up behind them, just, hey guys.
Whoa!
Shit, 9. Hey. And I try to like cover him. I try to cover him a little, like hood up.
I put him underneath my ropes.
Yeah.
I just scoot him under.
Looks around into the cart. 9, how are you? Oh no.
Krennic and Gra smush together and the cat disappears.
I enter my turtle shell. Oh wait, I'm up to my head, aren't I?
You're unconscious.
Oh no, you're
sorry.
dying.
Is that thing?
Okay. What is that?
You see this reptilian-like head, kind of slumped over in the road. You can see like occasionally like the eyelids sort of flutter but closed, and there is some sort of like almost gasping sign of breath and then like that reptilian saggy neck flesh. And like as a couple of you get close, you see one guy like pointing and says, "Look, probably fucking deserves it." And you can see he's pointing at this thing and it just says painted across the very large flat of the turtle-like forehead. It says Oathbreaker in sort of just smudged dry finger painted white lettering.
Gra leans in close to that guy. What'd this motherfucker do?
He looks like a scaly sock puppet.
Looks like a rock to me.
Did he fall off a caravan? Are there more caravans ahead of them, or is this it?
Make an insight check.
Oh. I mean, I'm just literally looking farther down the road.
Oh no, sorry. I thought you were like thinking.
Oh no. It's more like, are we at the very head of the caravan, or did he fall off a caravan?
Oh no.
Wagon.
Yeah, this guy looks like he's been here for at least a couple days.
Oh, so he's not part of the caravan at all.
Mm-mm.
Oh. What is it?
Looks like a rock. Why don't they just pry it up and toss it on the side?
Oh, Gra, you could lift it. Oh
I
wait,
guess-
no, that will blow your cover. Don't do it.
Yeah, I can't really do much here. I can look.
It's alive? I've history. I'm gonna see if have I ever seen anything like this before? No.
Yes, you
I
have.
don't know what that is.
Yeah, not really. You just think it's like some kind of lizard-like creature. One guy in the group is kind of looks a bit more empathetic and says, "It's still alive. Should we dig it out or
Dig it out. Oh, is it kind of buried?
go around?"
I think
you see it's literally a head popped out of the sand that's been fairly
Oh.
recently dug up and it's just
Oh.
buried up to
Why
its
would they
head
do this in the
in
road?
the road.
I
I'm
think
not going to assassinate this thing.
I think I got this. Ready? Gra rocks forward, and that with 9 under his fake ropes.
You look like a giant merchant.
Yeah,
I
I'm
come
a
with
big
you.
merchant. Hey, what's going on here? Why's the caravan stopped? I've got an important load of greenest green weed beer, and it's very sensitive to time, and I need to get this forward. What's going on?
You guys, a few of the guys rabble, and like kind of just debate. Most of the merchants are of the mind of they just want to move ahead to their destination and fuck this guy who's probably left here for a reason. A few people, a small percentage, sounds a bit more humane and does not want to leave him for dead. Whatever it is.
So is it like buried in the ground with its head poking out?
Yeah, up to the head.
Yeah.
Up to the head.
Yep.
How much grog? Give me
time has passed.
Right now it's only been a minute.
Oh,
grog. Give me a hand.
It's only been 1
I give him
minute.
my
Try to.
give Krennic my hand.
But then I maneuver your hand to the guy. Come, let's go. Let's get him out.
All right,
We can
Grod.
lift him out of that dirt there. I don't have a shovel.
Can I put my fingers around his turtle shell? Do I feel turtle shell?
No, why would you think turtle?
I don't know.
you
Because
said
it's a
turtle
picture.
Because the picture.
Fair enough.
Oh, I start digging.
Sense.
I start digging with my hands then.
Okay.
Right, because there's nothing to grab onto yet.
Yeah.
That
Don't
looks
grab his
so
neck.
gross
That
for
would
a
be
cat.
bad.
You
Or would it? Free dinner?
So
you realize it's still alive, but the thing is obviously still unconscious and unable to wake up as you approach
Yeah.
and dig around it a little bit. It's clear in how he's buried that the only way to possibly get this thing out would be to completely dig him out of the road.
I start playing a little ditty for this creature to maybe give him some bardic inspiration. 'Cause it looks like he's trying to come to his senses, trying to wake him gently.
And it sounds a little something
Does anyone have a shovel?
like this.
I don't know how to do it.
You could roll
That's
another
something right now.
Constitution saving throw there,
Okay.
buried person thing.
Alright.
Oh, you're throwing death throws.
Krennic, as you begin to dig around it in Gra, you move in a bit closer. You hear like a dry, wheezing cough as the eyes do that sick and wounded kind of just barely open sensation.
No.
And Turtlehead, you may speak with some restraint if you so wish, but you see yet another caravan has approached, and they have stopped in front of you, and some people are gathered around.
Okay, I extend, so I'm a turtle, so I can extend my neck, right?
You can pull your neck down, into your shell if you wanted
Alright.
to.
Only down? Can I put it out more so I can
You're that
talk
deep.
better?
Yeah,
Like,
you
I
could.
need to,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
need to be able to
Yeah, you could
have my
stretch it
brain.
out a bit.
Okay, I extend my neck fully as far as I can, and I say
Like a periscope, it rises.
yeah.
Yeah.
Water. Do you have water? Yeah. And then I pull out my flask and I.
No, Krennic, no.
What?
He asked,
It's a flask.
he asked for water, and then I
What
produce
did you bring some
the
with you?
greenest beer.
Okay, yeah, there you go, yeah.
This will
I
help.
open my mouth so they can see that my tongue is super dry.
This will help to dull the pain. I pour
Am
some
I
in.
getting watered?
Yes.
You're getting greenest beer,
You're getting
which is wheat beer.
Oh, so you're putting beer in my mouth.
Green beer. Green beer.
Okay.
It doesn't taste like water, but it is refreshing.
I
can't
drink
remember-
it. All of it.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't have a choice. It's in your mouth.
Yeah.
Don't spill.
As you begin to water the turtle head, the guy that some of you recognized as the rider who fled away, kind of elbows his way in, says, "I recognize that lettering on other caravans. If someone labeled this man Oathbreaker, he should be left for dead."
It's not your justice to dish out.
Oh. And then the big fat merchant stands behind Krennic.
Kill
Behind you. Yeah.
We don't know what this man has been accused of or sentenced to. Perhaps he may have already served his crime. We're digging him out.
One guy just grumbles in the back, says, "If it gets this thing moving again, I don't give a flying fuck." And then a couple people are like, aye.
Yeah.
Alright, Gross
Hand me
starts
a
to use
shovel.
Gross starts to use his big meat hands, and he starts to dig dig the critter out.
I retract my head back into the ground.
No, don't go away. You're okay. It's okay. We're gonna help you.
It makes you find it after trying to stall him. You find it surprisingly much easier to dig when there's no fleshy bits sticking out of the turtle shell. What normally would have taken you 2 hours ends up only taking but an hour, and most people have used this opportunity to take a late second lunch, as you are sort of in between lunch and dinner right now.
Hobbitsies.
I would say after like 30 minutes, Auric would have left Gremlaw to go figure out what was going on.
Oh yeah, okay.
And help.
So
You
Auric
roll up
comes-
about 30 minutes into a dirt pile forming in what could only be described as clearly the dig site of a place with no foreman, no organization, nothing logical about the approach being taken here at all. It's pretty disgraceful.
What the fuck are you doing? What?
Hey, or
You see
this thing needs your help.
I'm having
It's
heart
dying.
palpitations.
Check this out. It's a talking rock, Ordic. You'll love this. Look
Yeah,
at it.
It's green though.
It's so green. It's a green talking rock.
That's a tortoise.
His little head goes into his body when you feed it beer. It's awesome.
I don't think he's doing too good. He could use your help.
Alright, I lift the rock out of the ground.
But here's the funny thing. After all
User
this time,
disconnected
I
from your
realized
channel.
what you needed, and I used
Shovel.
healing word.
I like it
Joined
that.
your channel.
Okay.
Is that what you need? You should just set it all luck. You're gonna be fine, buddy. And then I use healing word on him.
Amidst your magic incantations, you can see the bright red flesh on the dwarf's face fuming as he sputters and mumbles through his tirade about your dig site.
I can't believe. What are you doing without proper tools or supervision? Oh God, let me just take a stab at this. Is this a turtle in here? What have you done to it?
What?
The drunken cat's paw finishes caressing the turtle's shell as magical energy in song-like form dances out from his fingertips.
Verbs.
The turtle, you feel wow, 6 points. All right. Let's see.
Cooking.
You're not dead.
22. All right, you are not dead, but you are by no means feeling great. But you are feeling fully with it at this point, as they've been digging you out and
Can I
healing you.
speak now?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna speak.
Do it. Do it. Don't be afraid.
Is something on your mind, Turtle?
No, what's up?
Oh, yeah.
Workshop it, you know?
Yeah,
You'll get there.
Please do not call me turtle. Call me Torto. Turtle is racist.
Oh.
That's all I wanted to say.
Right. I called you a turtle.
I thought you called me turtle.
No, I said turtle.
What's this
Well, what
rock
if
going
you
on
said
about?
Turtle?
One guy shouts from the small crowd still standing around, what they put you in the ground for? And he's standing there, a couple guys have their crossbows kind of loaded, looking suspicious of this criminal who's just been dug out of the ground.
Gross stands in front of those two guys with the crossbows. He says, "Yeah, what they put you in the ground for?"
So I'm super hesitant to tell anyone anything.
So
Yeah.
tell us something.
You could see a look of hesitation on this creature's face.
It doesn't have to be the truth.
We pulled you out. We could put you back in.
Yeah.
He does have a good point here.
I refuse to tell you anything. I won't say a word.
Well, in that case, and Auric takes a shovel full of dirt and just kind of
Puts it on his head.
Just
pours
fills it in the hole,
Yeah.
the turtle hole, the turtle's hole.
Please do not put dirt in the hole.
Okay, but come on, you've got. I mean, why were you put here?
I was sent on a mission, and I got caught by cultists.
Cultists.
Dragon cultists.
And they framed me and put me in a hole like caravan people.
Oric is determining whether that is truthful or not.
He's saying the N-word in public.
The T word, dude.
Dragon cultist.
Oh.
Wow. 9, you immediately notice as this guy is sort of stuttering and stammering, and on his arm, you notice a small branded tattoo signifying a member of the Harpers.
I
Disgraciate?
see the critic. Critic, he is part of the Harpers.
Oh.
You know from your own juvenile experiences that most of their agents operate incognito and often have a cover story or multiple motives as to why they're somewhere doing a thing.
So okay, wonderful what you are saying, Toidle. But your cover story.
This tattoo on my arm, it will show you that I am truthful. So believe my story.
Oric did an insight check.
So, yeah, go ahead.
No, I already did.
Oh, you feel very insightful. What are you wondering?
I'm wondering if he's telling the truth about what he's saying.
Oh, okay. So sorry. Yeah. He's like, I'm doing an insight check.
Sorry,
Fuck you.
You incite yourself.
I thought I said that.
I missed that part. I'm sorry. I was too busy dying.
I'm more concerned because
You believe him.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, and for those around you, you can kind of sense the strange looks you're getting from some of the people who are kind of just in earshot as he's not catching your drift.
Yeah. I'm concerned because there are people with crossbows pointed at him.
Make a dex save if you're kind of like trying to.
Yeah, I am trying to do that.
Oh, okay.
Grod's also gonna whisper to the crossbow people. He goes, "What do you think? Should we put him back in the ground?"
Either way, you're gonna have to fill the hole in. But can we get a fucking move on?
Yeah, let's fill this hole.
I don't want to
Just
see it.
move
I
on.
don't want to see it, Fiddy.
Yeah. 9, you go to stifle this turtle talking a little bit too loud. Like his voice levels aren't fully in control as he's like still in shock coming back from being unconscious and dehydrated for a couple days. And a couple people clearly heard something about the Harpers or a story and blah blah. And you're catching a few strange glances from them.
Okay. Yeah.
Gra-
I want to turn around over towards Gra-Iz and say, "Oh, it's the silly Harpers. They were in town. They were trying to do something to distract the caravan."
Oh, yeah. Those Harpers, those jokesters. Will they ever stop?
Make a deception check.
And I want to play it off like, silly fucking Harpers doing their shit again.
Oh my god.
Well, I'm more interested in 9's deception check. Oh my god.
Well, look at how much more he has.
Still an 11.
I'll go with his.
Yeah. You notice most people are like ready to hear anything at this point. But you see the one guy, the same guy that you thought was with the cultists, has disappeared from the line of people in the crowd.
Shit.
Oh no.
Damn it.
All right, you guys.
Are you continuing to dig the turtle out?
Yeah.
We need
Keep
to
digging.
hurry.
I never
boys.
stopped.
Or they look like they're only about halfway through.
Yeah, Oric busts out the heavy tools and starts.
Oh shit! You got
Oh, yeah,
jackhammer and power
Mer-
tools and shit.
Yeah.
Is Murden gonna help you? Because you're using your big tool.
The follow-up.
How much of me has been uncovered?
Yeah, you're like the equivalent of belly button up right now. So your arms
okay.
were like out and kind of visible, thus the tattoo sighting.
Can I push myself the rest of the way out?
You are super stuck in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, you can certainly help,
Okay,
fucking
I'm pushing
beach,
dirt around
fucking
me.
beach
I'm,
turtle
contributing a little
in the
bit.
sand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grog goes to pick him up by his shell. He just wants to potato him out of the ground.
All right. Well, with Auric on the scene, I'm gonna have you, Auric, make a roll a d20, and then I'm gonna kind of use your tool proficiency and add my own modifier to it.
I hope the modifier
Okay.
is 10.
Yeah, it's like plus 5.
While they're digging them out, I want to be crowd controlling. I want to just to really try to, so they don't question us anymore.
Yeah. All right. Most of the more vocal people have dispersed. There's only a few people kind of like watching now, and most are kind of like, the traffic jam. People, the looky-loos are heading back to the car. They've taken a piss. They're kind of getting ready to move again. You have no problem sort of walling this off, and with Auric overseeing things, what probably would have been 30 minutes ends up being 10.
Whoa!
You get this guy out. It's covered, like, just tortoise covered in dirt. But once he emerges, you see something similar to this.
Whoa!
Yeah, you like those muscles?
Is that?
Lizard man.
I think that's a turtle.
Did you say
Yeah.
turtle?
No, it's a turtle.
Looks like a rock to me still.
You're not like. How old are you? You're not like a teenager,
You
are
can't
you?
just go around asking people how old they are.
I'm undisclosed age. But my people are known to live for thousands of years.
You're just a kid, aren't you? Just a wee little baby.
He does sound like a child.
Yeah, he does.
Auric,
He got stuck in a road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
with the two holes, now the one that you dug around him and the one that he was in, filling these holes in would be imperative for this caravan to get the fuck on its way. But still managing the dig site if you like, you feel like you can make pretty short work of it.
Auric kind of like casts a look over at the people who are just watching
I'm refilling my
And-
water, keep going.
and just
Here.
kind of leans on his shovel and just kind of does like a gesture of, why don't you get your ass over here and start helping?
Oh shit! Oric! Hey, you want to charge him for this?
No, I just want them to not be lazy asses.
Wait, how many shovels do you have? I'm over
just-
here using my hands.
I've got the shovels God gave me. Like
Yeah.
the goddess.
Wait, why are you guys still digging?
We're
No,
gonna
is
fill
he
back
out?
in. We're gonna backfill it so the caravan
I
can get
was
over.
using my hand, yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's just
Okay.
fucking pile drive
Yeah,
dirt
yeah,
into this
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
and-
All right, there you go. Yeah, with enough manpower, you're
Yeah.
you're
Just
there.
do it.
Gra-
Yeah.
Gra is like a dog, and he's
1
just
hour-
like putting it under his feet.
Work by your estimations, it would have taken these jokers an hour. You fucking get this shit going with enough hands on deck to get through it in about 15 minutes.
Perfect. All right.
Hey, let's go take a look at that rock. What's the deal?
Orc is gonna go up to the giant teenage mutant ninja turtle and
Is he in our cart now, or is he still just there while we're filling in the hole?
I don't know.
we're gonna Orc just kind of puts his arm around him and says, "Here, I can probably like patch your wounds and stuff, but I'm gonna have to take a closer look. Why don't you come back, I guess, to our wagon?"
That sounds very nice of you to invite me. To your
All right.
wagon. All right, I say yes. I'm gonna go back to the wagon.
And we start walking back.
Yeah.
Grog continues to pile dirt between his legs, even though the hole's filled in. He's just having fun. There's like a mountain of dirt going over the hole.
I want to disappear into the crowd and see if I can find that dude who was the cultist.
Oh, the
Okay.
woe guy.
Just trying to see if, like, on their way back to our cart, I want to see if anybody else noticed or watches or, like,
Okay.
tries to pay extra attention to where we're going.
All right. She's gonna take like a stride. Like once the carrying gets going again, you're gonna just kind of ride along or walk along or.
Yeah,
Right,
me,
right.
I am just trying to see if anybody's watching where Turtle Guy goes.
Okay.
Oh, that's very adult of you.
And Oric, once we get back, is just gonna look over and I'll do like a level 2 cure wounds or something to help after I look over, make sure there's like check where the wounds
Okay.
are and stuff.
Krennic, go ahead and make a perception check.
Good job.
Okay.
Better than half.
He was on a horse, and we did describe him perfectly.
You don't notice anyone suspicious
Yeah.
for quite a while.
Right below you.
Oric, you check the turtle out. It mostly seems like it's just dehydration.
Okay.
Like maybe if he had a rib, like it seems like his shell's a little bashed and bruised in a couple spots. You're not too familiar with that stuff, but you think it'll heal.
Okay. I'm not sure how to do level 2 from my thing. It's just I assume it's just 2d8.
Well, so what you
Plus
can do, uncheck your second level spell slot. Drag the cure wounds out.
Yeah.
Okay, let me do this.
Oh, and then right click.
Hold on.
Whoa!
Yes.
Nice.
Damn, you cured the fuck out of him.
All right. It's looking pretty healthy.
All right, so you're gonna you're gonna have to rest. I don't know a whole lot about turtle anatomy, but I do know that it's very important, especially here, the indent in your shell. It's gonna take some time to heal. So, I guess you could be here with us. Yeah.
That sounds like a wonderful idea, brother and sisters.
Brother, huh? You're a turtle. I'm just a dwarf. Okay.
Do you think he knows what the word brothers and sisters means?
I'm not sure if he knows what that means, but
9.
awkward smile.
When you noticed the tattoo and then heard him talk about cultists, I mean, you felt pretty validated in knowing that this guy was a fellow member of your secretive group, the Harpers.
Yeah, cool.
Would Oric know that? Maybe a perception something.
You would recognize it at this point for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Got the secret handshake.
I mean, like the flags and the symbols were everywhere all over El Turo, where like these two were building this new keep with the allied factions that sent you off together.
You're a harper. Yeah, you're a harper.
Yeah, that's me. This tattoo is from the Harpers.
Yeah. First of all, why are you wearing a tattoo out in the open like that? That's a terrible idea.
Especially in these parts of the world.
Because of my shell, I can't wear. I'm naked all the time.
Yeah. But okay, you know what? I'll take care of this.
All
Okay.
I have for clothing are these bands on my arms.
Make him
And
some
that's
gloves.
That's the tradition.
Some gloves.
Okay,
Yeah.
listen.
Sometimes we wear knuckleless gloves.
Normally,
Where's
do the
the-
armbands cover your tattoo? But maybe because you were roughed up, they weren't in the right spot.
Yeah. So I was attacked, but because sorry, I'm fumbling through this, you guys.
No, it's totally fine.
You're good. Just go with it.
Feel it out.
You can say whatever you
Hold on.
want.
There's specific information that I feel like has to be relayed to you guys.
Find your camber, Find your
My
tempo.
camber. Oh yeah. Okay.
Anything you
well,
say becomes canon, man.
I probably shouldn't have smoked on my first D&D session.
Classic Oric.
It makes it really hard.
Yep, typical
Okay.
turtle.
Oh yeah, and you poured all that stuff in my mouth.
Yep.
And
All right.
it got me
Yeah, just
super
it's
drunk.
part of the character
Yep.
now.
All right. Where is? Do I obviously like? Where's the tattoo? Is it on his arm?
It's on my
Left
left
arm.
arm. Yeah.
Okay. Listen, I will help fix your bands here, and I will make sure they do not slip like they have done. Okay. And Oric starts like grabbing some cloth and some stuff, and he's gonna mend the metal to make sure that it completely covers it, like it conforms to. I'm saying topology in my mind, but that's not what I mean.
Yeah, like a metal
Ninja Turtle arm?
like a clasping metal armband, like just like
Yeah,
a big thick.
Yeah, and it can give a little bit.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, like I would work some kind of.
Yeah, like one of those things that's like bent metal, like you can kind of pry it open and like. pull
Yeah,
it off.
yeah.
Cool.
I look
You want that?
towards Oric and extend my neck extends up and so
Gross.
like I'm looking down on Oric even more because you're a dwarf, right? It's just how I talk. It's literally how I talk.
I'm a dwarf, yes.
Yeah, okay, so I'm just picturing this in my mind. So with my neck extended, I start to talk, and I want to tell you because you helped me. Oric, I must tell you valuable things of nature for you to know about
Wait.
my mission here. I need to tell you about my mission.
Oh, how do you know my name? What's your name?
My name is I'm hesitant for some reason. Matsumoto. Matsumoto.
Oh, okay.
Matsumoto.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, I was
Should I bow or something?
Maybe I should. Can I call you Mato for short?
You shouldn't be able to recognize me, but I am quite famous.
What?
Oh, Matsu.
Yeah.
Is that what?
Matsumoto.
Right. So
Matsumoto, could you just go ahead and make a charisma check for me?
Okay.
Here it comes. Oh
Wow.
-3. -3.
You find him though dirty and almost at first a little reprehensible. He starts to grow on you, and
Wow.
he's got this air of nobility and like this aura about him that just makes you want to be around him. I don't know.
Wow. Yeah, he's good folk.
Gra has done doggy piling dirt, and he's come back to the camp as well. He wants to be part of this conversation.
So, Matsu. I'm just gonna call you Matsu, I think.
Arigato.
When you go full shell defense mode and pull all your limbs in, are you a matzo ball?
Oh, you've been waiting for that.
Yeah.
So you're from the Harpers, and what happened? Were you on a mission or something?
Oh, we're from the Harpers. Gra pokes his head into the thing.
We're not from.
We're not from the Harpers.
You-
We're from the gods. Like,
How
What
much
the
have
fuck
you
is
been?
happening?
look, I just piled a bunch of dirt into a hole, and then I just drank a whole bunch of beers.
Oh,
Not gonna
Oh.
lie.
girl, you've been hanging out with 9 too much.
That son of a bitch. I pull 9 up onto my shoulder.
I'm feeling
We're-
great, man.
We're from. You and I are part of the order of,
Yeah.
of the gauntlet. Yeah.
I just
Okay.
feel like we've been hanging out for so long, like it just starts to blend together.
You're
We
a
have the
Harper
same
to me,
goals.
Zagra.
Maybe.
Yeah, nice. I came with that.
Maybe we're all the order of the Harpers. Yeah. Kind of
Oh,
a
don't
mix.
do that.
No?
No, don't do
We're not
that.
doing that. Okay.
No.
my mission. You wanted to know about.
Oh yeah, turtle.
Wait, what's your name? Oh, Matsumoto. That's right.
Just call me
Moto.
Matsu.
Matsu.
I'll call you Moto.
Yeah, I like
mission-
Moto.
My mission was to track down dragon cultists,
Yeah.
and I had found them.
Now listen, this is a great mission. I loves your mission. Now, next time you want to talk about hunting down dragon cultists, don't do it in the public where you have 2 crossbows pointed at you and me. You could have gotten us all killed, you dumb shit. I'm the high one.
It is a secret mission.
And
I'm
I give him a
adamant
little
about
slap.
talking
I give him a
about
little slap.
cultists.
It's like a paw slap, you know. There's
Yeah,
no
yeah.
claws or anything in it.
It's-
Yeah.
I noticed that I killed the conversation, so I retracted into my shell.
Okay.
Aw.
Oh, he's embarrassed. Look at him. He's probably turning red in there.
Mine
After
feels like a
after
dick.
Auric tends to his wounds and you engage in some interesting conversation, the turtle retracts into its shell in the on one of the back bench seats of your wagon as the caravan continues to move towards Daggerford.
Who's driving this goddamn cart?
Well, Grimlaw
Grimlaw.
is,
Still
and
Grimlaw.
I'm gonna go sit up there with Grimlaw.
Wait, hold on, guys. And I pull you all in for a huddle. Even the rock. I pull him
9
in.
is. Oh, sorry.
Guys, what do you think about Grimlaw?
Grimlaw's great.
I was just about to say, I think if you don't mind, I might try it and go eavesdrop on the conversation. I saw something pretty weird earlier.
He's been freaking me out. I'm not very smart, but he's been freaking me out.
What?
I-
Like how?
He's so smart. He's way smarter than me now. Before he was.
Doesn't take much.
I felt like I wasn't. 9. I feel like before I felt like I wasn't like the dumb guy, but now I'm the dumb guy, and I don't like it.
You're not the dumb guy.
You're
He's so smart now. He's so smart.
wait.
You're just the way you're meant to. You're built.
Yeah,
You're fine.
are you experiencing insecurity
No,
of
we
yourself?
just keep giving him weapons and armor, and he's so smart now.
Yeah,
He's so smart.
he's
Yeah.
part of our group. We're helping him become a dragon knight.
Yeah.
How
And if
lo-
we
how
ever
lo-
fight some foe that is greater than us, he goes first.
Yeah, he's
Does
gonna
he, though?
be.
Okay. So let's just see some merit in this. Let's put the pin in this, boys. Go. Let's tend to the beer, and why don't you go with Grimlaw? And like you said, you're
Yeah,
saying,
okay.
And
I'll go sit with Grim.
I wink at Krennic.
Rod goes to tend to the beer.
You notice
Oh, boy.
Grimlaw has definitely heard part of that conversation, but you don't know how
fuck.
much.
Orc doesn't even like pretend that they weren't talking about him. Like he just walks up to Grimlaw. He's like, Grimlaw, are you feeling okay?
Is anybody else eavesdropping? Because
Feel
9 is
fine.
totally
I'm
eavesdropping.
not. I'm tending the beer.
Okay, I'm
But
just making sure.
I did hear my name spoken. Is everything all right?
Yeah, I just want to make sure you're doing okay. You know, a lot of stuff has happened, and I'm sure, since you've been reborn, right? A lot has happened, and you're going through it.
Reborn?
Well, yes.
What do you mean?
Reborn. You know exactly what I mean. I'm sure you remember where you kind of woke up, yeah? And you may have felt a little bit different.
Make an insight check, Orc.
Alright.
Now,
You
like
genuinely. Sorry, 1 second. You genuinely believe that Grimlaw has no recollection of this former life you speak of. Like he just seems like he's kind of looking at you, and he's about to mouth the words like, "Are you feeling all right?" Well, like 9, you.
Oh, I was just gonna say, to hide my eavesdropping, I'm gonna be playing a little bit of music, and
Okay.
also at the ready in case Org needs bardic inspiration on any kind of checks.
Do you have your music maker?
I don't know where I put it. Riley's got a hold of it.
Oh,
Thanks, Steve.
Well, this is interesting.
Are you feeling all right, Orc?
Yeah,
Keep speaking about past lives like you've been praying to Moradin a bit too much lately.
well, I mean, maybe it's just the greenest beer. I don't know.
He kind of he genuinely smiles and just pats you on the shoulder and says, "I think I finally got the hang of this driving thing."
Yeah, you got it. Do you need anything, Grimoire? Do you need, I don't know, anything I can help you with?
Gra erupts from around the side of the conversation. He's holding a cup of greenest beer.
I don't need any more of that.
Oh, it's not for you. It's not for you. Grimlaw! Here, you've done such a good job. And he thrusts the beer towards Grimlaw and a little bit splashes on his face.
With one hand on the reins, he just like politely holds a hand right up against the mug, and it says, "I appreciate that very much, Gra,
Matsu's
but
head starts to
while
poke
I'm
out a
driving,
little
I
bit.
will not be imbibing your spirits." Okay.
What if I
He's
take
so
take the reins for you?
How about if I just hang out up here with you, Grandma?
That would be fine. Gra, just go enjoy the ride. I think we've got it from here.
Gra looks at Oric and he gives like an expression of sad, but like, I understand. and he trots off towards the back and he gets into the wagon.
You notice the turtle coming out of its shell a little bit again. And then Nine's just sort of leaning between both the rider's bench at the front of the wagon and the back where you all are strumming and kind of keeping his eyes on both. Maybe the tail's reaching out around the front while his eyes glance towards the back.
I'm being perceptive as fuck if I can. If I may.
Yeah, okay. What's going on in the back here?
With the turtle?
Oh, with the turtle?
Any of you all in the back?
Yeah.
That'd be Krennic, Turtle, I think.
So is it just the three of us in the back of the thing?
In a nearby 9.
Matsu's head fully extends out of his shell.
Hey, he's back.
Grinning. You ever see this before? I have a feeling you've seen this before.
Do you have any more of that green beer? Yeah, we do.
Grinning,
But-
check this out. Watch this.
Wait. Before you give it to him,
Uh-huh.
I think we should share in terms of you share with us a little bit of your story.
Oh.
We'll share with you
Uh-huh.
a little bit of our beer.
And I hand Krennic a beer.
Ah,
I hand
thank you.
Krennic a beer. Here, click.
Okay. So, and then let's hand him like a mug that's only like a little bit filled.
I put a little shot glass of beer just out of reach of his neck when he fully extends on the ground.
Oh. Wait, so your arms and legs are inside too?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Wait, so is there beer in front of me now?
Yeah.
So it's just like there's like a turtle shell table,
Yeah.
and you just put a beer on it. The head
Yeah.
kind of peeks out a little bit.
It's just out of reach. It's just out of reach.
I linked an image for inspiration.
Perfect.
Yeah, I love that.
Oh, I'm looking. Oh, yes!
So, Matzo, is it?
Yes.
Like matzo
What is your name?
I am Krennic. I am a monk. A
Nice
dragon
to
monk.
meet you, Krennic monk.
Yeah.
You notice
Likewise.
Still poorly painted on his upper head is the word Oathbreaker. It's
Yeah.
kind of like coming off in spots now, but it's still very visible.
So Krennic's eyes wander up to his tattoo, and then I say, oh, that's not permanent. It looks like it's coming off. How did you get that?
It's my tattoo is separate from the Oathbreaker thing.
Yeah, he's replying to he's
It is.
replying to your forehead.
I thought maybe
like
that
a
might be a
oh.
permanent thing they put on your head, but it appears to be coming off.
I rub my the back of my hand against. Oh wait, no. Oh, okay. I'll extend one of my hands from my shell
Yeah.
and rub Oathbreaker a little bit and smudge it more.
Yeah, it's kind of like almost like dried whiteout or something. Like it starts to crumble off. Like the dirt helps kind of pick it up and groove into your reptilian skin. And about half of it breaks up and comes off, but you've kind of smudged dirt across your forehead a little bit now.
Okay.
What
I
did
was
you break?
working as a caravan guard in the previous caravan several days ago.
How'd you end up in that hole down there?
Let's see here. Fuck. So, I know someone. One second.
Oh,
Was that the question?
No. Sorry.
who do you know?
Sister Garel. Sister Garel sent me to track down a caravan.
Did you
Leave. Is it safe now to talk?
Do we know Sister
Yeah.
Nero from this campaign or the last?
We don't know her from this campaign.
Okay.
She's a crossover.
Yeah.
But Oric feels this weird connection with this paladin he's never met.
Actually, Nine and Krennic, you can make a history check.
Oh, I have history.
I have history too, but it's not the right kind of history for this. Ooh, that's good.
Orc feels deep down in his bones something important.
You already feel good about it.
Real good.
Oh, should I do
Oh, hold on. Yeah, hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just putting it on my board here. I can.
Dave's spidey sense
Casey's
tingles.
like fingering his asshole, thinking about.
That's my girlfriend you're talking about.
It's
Yeah.
so hard to do this with the Steam controller.
All right,
Okay,
well,
here we go.
9 just can't really recall. Oh, wait, no,
wow.
there it is.
That was
I
awesome.
There
recall
it
the
is.
fuck
Was
out
that
of
3 for a
stuff.
second?
Kept you on
9.
the edge.
Krennic, the name sounds familiar to you, but in some of the more far-off eastern lands that you studied in before joining only recently, you
Fuck it, I'm gonna do
only
it.
recognize the name very vaguely. 9, you're aware that she's somewhat of a reputable, very high-level Harper agent who generally works in the northern Sword Coast regions, principally around the areas of Neverwinter.
And she always
Uh,
works with paladins.
You don't know her personally, but you know that she's kind of a baller.
She's a baller.
He hangs out with a bunch of really good-looking people.
Yeah.
Especially
You know
little.
that her cover is often using her clerical abilities in connection with the gods of nature to act as a simple worshiper of the goddess of luck, Tamora. But
Recently-
you've never met her. You've only heard tales.
Gotcha.
Recently blessing a ranger so he could jump off a 10-story tall building onto a dragon.
Maybe that's yet to come. So sorry, Matsu, you sense some recollection when you say that name.
Oh, okay.
From 9 and the others.
Hold on.
What were you
I remember now why I was put in the hole.
Tell us,
I,
young rock.
I was caught by cultists, dragon cultists.
That's where we all.
And I stutter because I'm clearly afraid of and traumatized from
Did
the
they-
experience.
Did they put you in the hole?
Did you see a dick?
I saw many dicks.
How you're
There
gonna
are
have to
dicks
show 'em
everywhere.
yours to balance it out.
They put their dicks on you,
Um,
and then they put you in a hole. Oh, this is terrible.
There are also stolen valuables and wagons that I was tracking.
Well,
Did
you're
they catch
looking
you-
at one.
Did they catch you snooping around? Is that what you're trying to tell us?
Yes.
Why Oathbreaker?
Because he was
Um,
godding? Initially, he was set to gods them, right? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Insight.
Bullshit.
Oh yeah, no, that's legit. Oh yeah, he got caught. Oh, that was awful.
I was recalling as well, so do I also get an insight? To make sure
Sure. Yeah.
that was correct?
You didn't say anything.
Clearly, you can't work for the dragon cult. Look at this. This is what happens.
Insight.
Oh,
Is that a skill? There it is.
Casey's rolling against you.
against me?
Well, kind of.
Just to see
Oh.
If you're telling the
Okay,
truth.
okay, yeah. Take your time on those rolls.
Done.
9, you're kind of sizing him up and down. Krennic is just like almost like he's listening to like a soap opera. He's like, oh my, like just eating up every word. 9, you're kind of like
Tell me more.
looking him up and down a little bit. Like, I don't know about all this. Anyone could brand their arm if they wanted to. But after listening to his tale, and you know tales quite well, you believe him. Whatever he is.
I have a question then. Well, actually, more of an observation. This is very concerning that the dragon cult is so far ahead of us that they were able to find you, bury you, and then get far enough away where We were at the front of the caravan, and yet here you are. They have a lead on us that
So-
we can't compete with.
So when I was captured by the cultists, I was brought back to the caravan. and the merchants were lied to by the cultists, and the merchants, they couldn't bear to kill me, so they buried me to my neck that I could extend, so I could just put my tongue out and hope for water.
It's very descriptive of you, Rock.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, when did this happen? How long have you been in the ground? Oryx says from peeking his head around.
It's been 2 days.
I think
So-
they seemed. What did he say? That they felt too bad to kill him?
Two to
The
several
merchants
days.
were. So the dragon cultists told the merchant that he had betrayed them, and they believed him. But instead, they're merchants. They're not mercenaries. Of course, they're not going to kill him. So they left him here for dead.
Oi, Little Rock.
But that was ahead of us. That was in a
It was.
caravan that was farther ahead.
One of
That's what I
you
think.
can volunteer to make an insight check with advantage.
Oh, I have a +4.
Oh, do it.
I have a +5.
Oh, do it!
+5.
Actually,
You have it ready to
still
go.
kind of like sizing this shit up.
Did you say insight?
Advantage.
Yes.
Advantage.
Insight
Oh,
with
yeah.
advantage.
Alright, one more. Okay.
Good enough. The track marks etched into the road, while not only common on a very big highway such as this, the dirt along with the dug up turtle that you acquired was fairly recent. It feels like another caravan rolled through here several days previous.
Yeah.
Oi, Little Rock.
Yes.
But is there any way you could identify these people what put you in the ground?
Perhaps if I take some time, I could remember.
If there's one thing I can't stand, it's people picking on rocks. And then Graf flexes and he smashes down on the ground with his fist.
Matsu, do
Hi.
you... At this point, like, Oryx is, like, climbing... I'll be right back, Grandma.
You're inside the caravan.
Hey, how big was the caravan that you were investigating? Like, was it a big caravan, or was it a small caravan? Because, well, I have questions.
You can just tell me if you want to reveal that in detail, and I can tell you what you know.
Yeah, I want to reveal it.
Okay. He goes on to describe a caravan that sounds similar in structure to yours, but about half the size. So whereas you are close to about 100 wagons, this is probably somewhere in like the 40 to 50 neighborhood, also heading north.
Was it heading straight north or off to the side?
You know... The thing that's getting me is I've been wondering about what that guy said, that there's only 2 dragon cult carts, and there were hundreds of carts. Like,
Right. In
so-
our caravan,
so,
there's like
so
2
clear.
local.
Yeah. So if there's only 2 in this particular caravan, it makes sense that there's another caravan ahead of us. But the question is, how did they leave? Like, wouldn't we have known if they had left ahead of time from Baldur's Gate?
You're using a lot of them numbers. Look, there's plenty of times they could have split off. We were fucked up for a week straight off of the purple goop.
The mushrooms. What if they were ahead of the mushroom pack?
They could have just split off and we would have all fucked up. We wouldn't
So-
have known.
Maybe because of the mushrooms, maybe. But I mean, we would notice if the caravan was a significantly
9.
smaller size.
Would we?
9,
And
roll an
we're-
insight check for me.
Uh-oh.
We're pretty far up in the caravan order, so
With
I'm
advantage.
curious where.
Thanks, bro.
9 starts to unfurl the map you were given. and clearly
Uh-oh.
identifies the fork in the road where another major city
Oh,
past Dragon Spear.
no. They went...
Okay.
Okay.
So there is more than one. There's yeah,
It's
that
like-
makes
Yeah.
sense.
We made up to make a super city.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, but that means
They're with
that-
us.
Well, it means that they're in Daggerford.
Yeah. Oh, clearly we're going into hostile territory.
Well, but the question
We're
is,
already there.
as we're getting in there,
You are several hours from Daggerford at this point.
should we try to join their caravan in order to gain more information? Notice a couple things. First of all, we've been recognized in our own caravan multiple times.
Yeah.
There's only 2 dragon cultist carts, and we don't know where they are.
We have a
And
turtle man.
we have a turtle man who we have.
Hard to disguise.
Yeah. It is.
Gra puts his hat on Turtle Man.
You guys are a fucking rolling menagerie.
I think if we want to pursue them any further, we can't bring the cart.
Well, no, wait. I've got an idea for that, but it will take a little bit of time. I want to redesign the cart, and I believe that I can do it. I believe it's just going to take a little bit of time in Daggerford.
How much time?
It's going to take at least 12 hours.
You know that the likely stop time is usually about 2 days. But if people are concerned about the loss of time experienced over the previous journeys, some people might vote to push it to just be a day.
So I can make the changes pretty quickly if I have, well, hopefully Grimlaw will help me. If I can get one other person to help me.
Oh, I'll do it.
Okay, well...
But I'll dress up like a construction worker, and I put a yellow hat on my head.
Oric hesitates because he remembers Baldur's Gate and how
The foot went through the floor.
yeah, and how
That's
hard
one way
it
to put
was to get things worked out.
But I'm really good at putting things
Is that
together.
a proper Baldur's Gate saying? The foot went through the floor. Does that signify something going wrong?
I believe it is now.
That's how I've heard it being told.
So, if our goal is to catch up with the next caravan, if they've already left Daggerford, we're gonna be in some shit. Or we'll just have to stick with our current caravan. We can't go on alone. Well, I suppose we could. Should we go on alone? Wouldn't that be weird if we joined the caravan halfway through their trip?
We are heavily armored.
I think that
Alright.
would be pretty weird.
Are you asking your inner conscious?
No, I'm asking everybody.
I think that would be pretty weird to catch up. It would bring too much tension.
Okay, so if they're in Daggerford, we try to join their caravan, yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, and if we have time, like, let's try to find out when they're leaving, if they're still there. And as soon as we get there, I'll start renovations. Actually, do we need... Well, we probably need renovations no matter what. I don't like the fact that Ryder recognized us, so we should change our cart appearance. So,
Yeah.
Gra looks down to the turtle. You got any information on any of this?
Oh, the turtle. That's
Yeah.
me.
You know anything about the second caravan?
The caravan. Yeah, the caravan.
You could make
I
you
would
could make an
suggest-
insight check, or actually,
Okay.
just do an intelligence check.
Okay, let's hit up that intelligence.
Just as more of like a memory thing for your
Is
character.
it the save?
No,
It's
it's
under
on
skills.
the other side, like across from it on the left side there. Just your big old intelligence block.
Oh, all right. A raw 16.
You remember after dealing with you, and the incident that happened with you and the cultists during the roadside incident when they buried you, that they were arguing about lost time, and the majority of the people in the group, ones who you thought might be working with the cultists, quite a few of them, were pushing the caravan to move at an accelerated pace.
Ooh, they're falling behind.
Last you heard, their plan when they got to Daggerford was to only stay for half the day and leave even if it meant it was nightfall,
Whoa.
which is not super common.
Yeah.
Okay. So in that case, we need to find the 2 other cultist carts in our own caravan.
There's like hundreds of our carts, though.
Yeah, well, we should probably try to find it, and then that way we can follow them a little more accurately.
Do we have an
At
identifying
this
marker
point,
or anything?
you're about an hour and a half out of Daggerford, and it is almost supper time.
Okay.
What if we just disguise our cart? Like your plan was good.
Okay. Let's do that, and then on the road we need to really pay attention to trying to find that other cart. Yeah. And whoever's wearing the Hand of Disguise, change up your appearance so you don't look like the fat merchant guy.
All right, I'm gonna become. Do you have any suggestions?
You could become a woman.
How's this? And then sparkles erupt out of my hand, out of Gross' hand,
Ooh.
and then boobs shoot out of him, and a corset emerges around his waist and holds all his muscles, and then long hair sprouts out. How's this look?
9 plays a sexy Sully number to go with it.
Matsu's really impressed, and he shows that by extending his neck fully.
You can call me Greena. And I kiss to Orc.
Barbarina?
Yeah, Greena. Take a look at this. You like it when I shake my booty? I'm shaking booty hard.
I
yeah.
imagine grab Orc by his shoulders and lift him off the ground, and he's like,
Yeah, I smush him into my boobs. They're gigantic. They're like just oversized. You like them, don't ya? Pretty convincing. Just like me mums. Yeah.
Yeah.
Call me Greena.
okay, final plans before
Yeah,
we
final
go?
final things before getting close
Okay.
to the city.
We should sell, or we should try to pawn off some of the stuff that we have, yes, for,
We have so much gold we need to
Well-
get rid of.
but I need materials, is what I need, and I can't renovate our thing without materials.
Well, let's do the old treaty, Pooh. Let's get gold for iron, gold for silver, gold for whatever the fuck gold buys here.
But listen, I noticed there are some, engravings, anything that says G and S or C and K, we need to smelt that first, I believe, because they're recognizable houses. So all the other stuff can go, and you can do whatever with it.
Shiesty little dwarf.
But make sure with those that you don't grab them, okay? And I'll smelt it whenever we get a chance to smelt it.
Yeah.
Ra's already crushing gold coins into balls in his hands.
Any other plans before you approach town?
So, Krennic 9, are you gonna go sell stuff?
Sure, I don't have much to sell, but
No,
Or
we're
You
gonna
can
sell
look
all
at your
this-
hands.
yeah. No,
Yeah, you've got a lot of rings on there.
Oh no, it's the whole time. I had it the whole
They're
time.
just jingling on
See,
it.
These are the things.
No,
Yeah.
I mean the valuable materials that we acquired.
Yes. Okay, yes, we could do that.
Not your rings, just the other stuff,
And
okay?
I slowly release my rings out of my armpits.
Not
Very-
those. You can keep them, I don't care. The other things.
Those are gonna get you in trouble one day. I guarantee you.
Off in the distance, you can see what appears to be, a busy, but still only on the small side, like a small town. It's the town of Daggerford.
We made it to Daggerford.
Gate security's not anything super tight. Looks like the caravan is just rolling through town. Near the center of town, is where people are starting to break off or kind of come to a stop and just stagger in there. A few of the townsfolk, oh yeah, come in over here, get a drink, shit like that. A couple of folk who seem interested are mumbling things about the other caravan that's been in town for half a day and is leaving tonight, like with questions like, "Oh, you joining up with the other caravan? Staying and turning back here? You selling any goods? You know, shit like that."
Okay, go for it.
And Orc pulls everybody together. The other caravan is still here.
Orc, and Graz like on his tippy toes. Orc, can I have 100 gold pieces? I want to go drinking.
No, what? No,
Come on, just give me 100 gold pieces. Come on, I got nothing.
Okay, listen. The other caravan is here. We can
I
join
know.
up with them right now.
Gonna go reconnaissance their asses.
Yeah, well, you don't need 100 gold to go reconnaissance.
Alright, just give me 75 gold. Come on.
I've got 12
50 gold!
to my name.
I don't even have that kind of money.
To his side arm thing and pulls out some gold, and he looks at it and he looks at Gra and nods do you want to go drink beer? I have gold and
how much gold you got there,
since
Rock?
you took me in, I'd like to repay you for taking me in.
Nine
Listen.
asked Krennic. Oh, sorry. We'll get you after that.
You take 9 with you. Okay, 9, go with them maybe and help. But guys, we've got to make sure we get the second caravan. That's all I'm gonna say. I need. I'm gonna renovate things. I need help, and you're gonna go drinking. Yes.
Okay. All right, Gra looks down in the extended turtle hand. How much gold is there?
Damn it.
How much gold is there? You have 25 to your name left on you.
I have 25.
Yeah, so you like holding out the whole handful.
I'm holding
coins?
out 24 coins.
Okay.
All right, Gra fucking he picks up Cat, he puts him on his shoulder, and he high fives the turtle as hard as he can, and gold goes spilling everywhere. And he picks up Turtle, and he's like, "Come on, let's go!" And we go running towards the bar.
Yeah, we go.
I was gonna ask Krennic, do you think we could sell some of this beer if we need the money?
I mean, why don't we sell the gold that we got?
Okay, well, let's do that first then. That makes sense.
I mean, all the loot that we got from the dragon cultists that we slaughtered.
I'm saying this while on the back of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, well, to be honest, I would like to just keep the greenest ale to ourselves.
Ooh.
Okay. I don't mind you. I enjoy it myself.
All right,
okay.
Gra,
Look, so if worst comes to worst, then we sell.
all right, Gra keeps this in the back of his mind. He knows. He knows.
Oric, you are left with Grimlaw at the wagon.
Oh boy.
You have lots of thoughts. You look out over the town. Make a perception check for me real quick as you watch them start to trail away from you.
You see a dragon. Oh, you see a dragon. What?
Like your very organized brain when it comes to getting projects done, like immediately activates, and the blood surges into your brain. You can look down the very clear thoroughfare up ahead and see parked in the very far distance numerous wagons lined up as if just like when you were leaving Baldur's Gate. Clearly they're there and still preparing for a departure, possibly this evening based on what you heard. You don't know when they're leaving, but depending on what you want to do, there's definitely a ticking clock that has started the moment the moon began to rise up on the horizon.
Okay.
Oh.
Step number 1.
And you're just sitting there like holding the bag. Like,
Yeah. How far away is everybody?
I mean, I would say within shouting distance.
Hey!
Gross stops dead in his tracks and mud splatters up everywhere, all over the walls in front of him.
And Oric just gestures to, like, come back to the wagon. Come back. Come on. Come here. Real
Alright,
quick.
Gross
Slips in the mud and face plants into the ground.
Oh. I pick him up under my arm, and the cat is still totally clean, and we start running off back where we came from.
Okay, and as soon as they get there, I just tell them, hey, listen, the second caravan is way up ahead, so if you're going to do drinking and reconnaissance, you need to do it up there, not at this fucking tavern with our caravan people. Okay?
Okay!
To go further.
Alright.
So, you come with me, everybody rides with me, and we'll go up ahead, and I want to find, like...
Oric, you're coming with us.
No, I'm not. I'm renovating the... What the fuck are you...
You just said you were coming with us on a horse.
Yes, to renovate the van.
I am very drunk right now.
You haven't had anything to drink yet. How are you...
Turtles, he's probably still drunk from when we poured it in his gullet hours ago. So they live a long time, it probably sits in their system forever.
It's like 24 hours of drunk off of one beer.
So, or go do your renovations. We'll take care of it from here. Don't worry. We got
Oric, I'll have some for you. Bye!
And as we start walking away, I walk looking backwards at Oric, going, "What could go wrong? It will be fine." And then
I'm pulling him. I'm visibly pulling 9 by his scruff. What could go wrong?
Oric turns to Grimlaw and just is like, listen, if they're not here when the other caravan leaves, we're fucking leaving their asses.
No.
See, as I run away, I
And
try to hop over a little fence.
you and I have got some serious work to do.
Prinnick, are you coming with us?
Yeah.
Alright.
with you.
Grandma looks at you and just sighs and says, "Do you think we have enough supplies for what you intend?"
No, we don't, but maybe at the very least we can get rid of the main, like, obvious parts of our cart and renovate those. I have some materials, but
Oh,
very
it's gonna take so much work to make another cutout token, you know.
I know. But listen, maybe we just change the main decorative colors in it. Yeah?
Yeah.
We just change the theme.
God, these birds are so loud. Could
It's
barely hear.
Are we on the coast?
I didn't think so.
Oh, neither did I.
They
wasn't
might
sure.
smell me because I am quite smelly.
We're gonna find an alley, or maybe not an alley, but just some place that isn't necessarily right up against the second caravan, but is somewhat removed, and then we'll start renovating. A place that makes sense to renovate.
Yeah.
A
So
tiny
you're
home.
driving the wagon further up towards the other caravan. And kind of
Correct. We are
pulling over.
leaving.
Yeah, this is like Deadwood style. You know, this is a much bigger, nicer city than Deadwood, but you know, if people are rolling through mud-tracked roads, all that kind of stuff. There's places to sort of tack up and, you know.
And that's all we're doing.
Do a little
That's
parking.
what Oric's doing the whole time.
Okay. You guys head in there. The rest of you scurry off to a more distant tavern. Is that what I'm hearing?
Correct.
Yep.
Okay.
We want like a spicy tavern.
Yep. All right.
Someone that's got lots of hubbub about it.
the one that's got the most hubbub with people spilled out onto like the wraparound porches and there's lots of commotion. People coming and going back and forth towards the northern road that leaves out of town where lots of these other wagons are parked, and not so distant from there where this tavern is. There's lots of life, and it's clearly the one that draws your eye the most.
By the way, I'm still Greena,
Okay.
my female form.
Oh, perfect.
Yep.
This isn't even my female form.
It's kind of like we're on a date.
Yeah, I'm carrying a turtle and a cat on my arm, on my neck, and there's just like a Krennic falling behind. He's like, "Caca!"
I don't caca.
We're just running. We're running towards the bar.
Krennic, are you still, like, are disguises still happening for the
Yeah.
rest of you?
My hood is up.
Okay.
I'm trying to act nonchalant.
Am I just carrying
have a disadvantage to try to
don't have a
recognize me.
disguise, right?
Am I carrying Matsu? He's just
Yeah.
a shell.
Matsu, with your Harper training and just general good old-fashioned common sense, rolling up potentially into a sea of people who buried you in the road and left you for dead 2 days ago
Uh-oh.
doesn't seem like the best idea, no matter how much greenest beer you drank.
Oh no.
That experience, through your own words, left you a little traumatized. So
Right. I think I should not go this way. I do not want to see the people that buried me in the ground.
Alright, Gra stops cold in his run, and he looks up at Cat, and he talks to everyone else. He's like, what if I just gave him my hat, and I appear as Gra, and he becomes something else?
It won't work because he needs to spend time with your
Oh,
hat.
he needs to be
It didn't work
attuned.
for me either.
What if I put him under my fake robes?
Oh, what? No, I don't know.
You have, like, a little
This
head
is not a
poking
good
out.
idea.
No?
Just put a hood on him or something.
What
You
do we
think that'll
got?
be enough?
Gra looks around. Do we see any big people with hoods?
Maybe he could be a hunchback.
I mean, you do see people who are cloaked and hooded. It's cool out. It's nighttime-ish.
Gra approaches one of them.
Okay.
Hey you.
Oi. This is a very large, stocky dude.
You're Greena. Do you still talk like that?
I got this golden ring here, and I propose that I give it to you in exchange for your luxurious hood you have on. He looks at the hood, and it's got shit stains on it.
Yeah, it's not like super.
It's not good.
fancy.
But I extend a golden ring.
Yeah. Can I hold it?
You may hold it.
It kind of gives it like a.
You may bite it if you wish.
I did. I wanted to. Gives it a little. No shit. Well, you've got a wonderful fashion sense. He doesn't. It's terrible. He unclasps the cloak. It's very heavy. The cloth is almost just dirty and burlap-like, but it's got a lot of surface area. And he hands it over to you, takes the ring, kind of just grins and heads into the tavern.
Hey, 1 second.
No, deal's done.
That clasp. I need the clasp to hold the front down.
You could see he was kind of like clutching it in his left hand, and he kind of turns and
I pull out my bow
tosses it to you.
and threaten the guy.
What are you doing? Grab puts the boat. He puts his hand down on the boat.
I help. No,
No, wrong time.
He's drunk. It's fine.
He's
It's fine.
This is the
wasted.
part of the back alley drug deal where that one crazy guy pulls out this
No.
Like, yo, man, we're good.
No.
We're good.
I put the bow away.
We just wanted the clasp.
It's like, jeez, shit, save the class. Sorry.
For the gold. It's not for your life. No, it's fine.
Grab picks up the clasp out of the mud and he shakes it off and he gives it to the turtle. He's like, "What the fuck, man?"
The guy still looking back at you, just like stops from the tavern, and just keeps walking past.
Oh, he doesn't even go in the tavern. Good.
Yeah. Put this on.
Yeah, put that on.
Look, you gotta. I know
I
you're
wanna-
new.
With my disguise kit,
I
I'd like
put
to.
on, I put on whatever it is you're trying to.
It's a shitty cloak. It's just
I
full
put
of.
on the shitty cloak.
I do
Yeah.
my best with my disguise kit to just help shroud him a little bit better,
Okay.
like Strider from Lord of the Rings,
Oh yeah.
Put a little
okay.
makeup
But,
on
like,
his face.
fatter and more Raphael looking.
Okay. Yeah. You kind of fill in the volume around the hoodie. It almost looks like this big gnarly guy with like really dark skin or like some kind of skin condition with like, I don't know, like hair billowing out. He looks a little strange, but like a passable, strange, large humanoid, or stocky.
All right, everyone.
I
Perfect.
confirm that my cloak is on. It's on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I clasp
Maybe don't extend your head.
Yeah, like
all
you
the
feel
way.
like if you kind of like got out of like head down mode, like your
Okay,
face
I
is the most revealing thing. So like you're kind of like pulling this off by like
Yeah.
just
I
following a
retracted my
line,
neck,
almost
didn't
like
fully
a
retract it.
blind person or like an old beggar, like kind of following.
Gra says, You smell like shit. But it's coming out of Greena's body, so it looks like a woman with like a beard is like speaking to him.
I just look at Gra and smile, and it looks really strange because I'm a reptile and like I don't have any teeth, so I'm just like kind of like opening my mouth.
Oh, gross. Oh, maybe you should put that away.
I close my mouth.
Okay.
All right.
We going in?
Yeah, we stroll up to the nearest bar.
Well, the one right there.
The one right there. That's what it's called. The one right there.
The very active one you requested to go to.
Yeah. That's
Okay. All right. You stroll in, and the place is teeming with life. It's a 2-story building, and like it looks like up above, there are a bunch of rooms for rent. You hear a few doors opening and closing. There's just in general a lot of activity here. What in particular are you looking to do?
We're looking to sell.
Yeah, that's what I look down at Cat and Bird, and I'm just like, hey man, we should probably unload. I don't know much about this stuff, but we got a lot of it. We should get rid of it.
I look around for the nearest merchants, and on top of that, I want to look for a store that looks like that I could haggle and pay top dollar right out of the bat. I don't want to look for like the finest store because obviously they're rich and they're assholes.
I mean, any of you going into the tavern, stroll past not one but 2 guards near like the main double wide doors. They kind of like eye you as you walk in, but they have so much to focus on right now they quickly get distracted. 9,
I'm a chesty woman.
9, you let them head into the tavern, and you sort of start looking around that area of town.
Yeah, I kind of at least whisper to Critic. Yeah, we should sell the goods, right?
Yeah,
You have the bag of holding,
I've got
I
it.
think.
I do.
Okay.
This is mine.
Yeah. So, which store should we go to? Do you think? And we look around. Let's go to one. Any of them. The one that's not the richest and not the poorest.
Okay. I mean, it's just no Baldur's Gate. I mean, most of the shops here have like some sort of general theme, but you kind of get the sense that a lot of them have lots of sort of bartered and traded goods that they're reselling in addition to sort of their main wares. Is there something in particular you're steering towards?
I'm trying to get the most bang for my buck, and I know that again, I'll get trying.
You're just trying to pawn your shit right now?
Yeah.
For like a straight up gold exchange, or like are you actually looking to try to trade for something else?
Oric didn't give us a list, right, Critic?
No, we don't have a list, but we do have all this extra loot from the caravan.
You also do know that he's parked not very far away.
And you also know he probably said the few things that he may have needed.
Sure.
I mean, we're not selling the things that he told us not to sell. The ones with the initials on them. That's fine.
We want to break those down though.
Yeah,
'Cause
he's gonna
those
smelt them.
He's on it.
Org probably said something along the lines of renovating the cart and needs materials.
Probably like wood and cloth and shit.
Sounds logical to me.
I feel like those are kind of the supplies I was looking to get too.
Yeah.
All right. And you give me a pitch. I mean, like you're only gonna have a couple hours, right? If you're trying to leave tonight.
So,
how massive are these renovations we're talking about? Just so I have some idea about the amount of supplies you might.
I mean, honestly, it's gonna be like most of it's gonna be pretty quick and dirty. It's gonna be the main, like any of the defining features of our cart are gonna get changed.
Give a drawing.
So if I was looking for a drawing, I didn't find one.
It's gonna be like a proper cart instead of a barrel now.
Well, yeah, I mean, anything that defines our cart that I can change in a quick amount of time. So maybe, like, instead of changing the barrel, it's just, like, building a, like, little square, like, over the barrel. So you can't see the barrel, right?
It's
like,
not a cylinder anymore. It's a cube.
Yeah, and it's, like, cutting off, like, Oric would cut off where the lantern is hanging from. He would change, like, the design of, anything that defines the features.
Yeah,
of the
like
cart.
it'd be really easy to swap out the cloth for the awnings and stuff.
So like main broad ideas, because people think in broad strokes. So
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
yeah, that kind of stuff.
All right. Well, 9. Go ahead and roll a percentage die for me.
Oh, yes.
Oh shit.
With pleasure. Wait, how do I do this with this kind of controller?
Use your controller.
Right click. Which dice is it again?
You just right click the D10 and do the percentage.
Bada bing, bada boom, bada boom. I said.
Oh, 43.
Okay.
I've had worse. I've had
Yeah,
way
yeah.
worse.
Okay.
You're
Yeah,
dead.
you find a shop that has like a lot of fabrics, a lot of just miscellaneous crap like old wagons and stuff for sale. You find one in general that looks like it has most of the raw materials you would need that you could either just break down from something else they have, chunking that wagon into pieces, or buying some bolts of cloth or old rugs and shit like that. Clearly, it's the most acceptable option on short notice and time.
Well, we go to that one.
Yeah.
We head to that establishment for sure.
Alright. You head in, and there's kind of like it's a polite-looking woman with kind of reddish skin. Looking at us like, it's just about to close up. What can I help you with?
Oh yes, my lovely friend here. We are traveling salesmen, and we've got some great goods. And I put Krennic on the spot. I just say, Krennic, would you care to show me? It's the first thing. And
Well, here it comes.
I play some music. It's like this whole song and dance.
Wow.
It's terrible.
The snake oil salesmen are here. Make a 9. Let's start with a performance check from you.
I'm helping.
Yeah. With
he certainly
advantage.
is.
Yeah, I'm into that.
Hit this button. I'm a little bit slower with the correct controller.
But rolling consistently good.
I mean, 16.
Come on.
Thanks.
She
+7.
seems delightfully amused, and she's like watching as you produce these things from out of nowhere, seemingly.
What is this?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Here's a merchant that we're talking to.
Okay.
Well, you guys are still in the bar. These two are.
Yeah. You and me are in the bar.
All right.
We'll
this will
come
go
back
on
to
for a
that
little
scene
bit.
in a moment.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys,
Speaking of the bar.
you found a potential mark. Meanwhile, back in the bar.
All the things, you found them all.
You head into the bar. Gralina, and Tortle, and
It's Garina.
it's a packed house. What are you doing?
Tortle, I need to get to know you. Back where I'm from, I respect rocks. Rocks are part of my lore. I need to know about you. You are a rock
know
man.
each other. Let's drink.
All right, and then we walk up to the bar. Gralina puts her tits on the table, on the bar table, and she slides out from beneath them with her hands 2 gold pieces, and she's like, "From my new friend here, the cloaked man." And then I ordered beers for both of us.
All right. Yeah. The bartender is smiling after behind a beautifully oiled mustache. And says, "That'll do you for a few rounds." And he kind of goes back, and 2 frothy steins are kind of put up in front of you. Just let me know when you need a refill.
Let me know what I'm drinking, friend.
We clang our beer mugs together and start to drink, and I see how much Gra can drink, and I wanna match that. I wanna.
Well, that's not good for you.
I wanna have a drink up with Gra.
Okay.
We're about
Okay.
to experience a shit-faced turtle.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. You pick up one of the frothy mugs. The bartender's already turned and turned to just a lineup of other people waiting. He never answered your question about what kind of brew it was.
Gra's beer is gone.
Matsu's beer is also gone.
Oh.
And Matsu
touche.
looks at Gra
Aren't you Asian?
Yeah, it's a problem. And
Asian
I
flush.
say, bruh, I bet you I have a infinite stomach. I am sure I can drink more than you can.
I was like,
Oh, shit.
I know I'm not there to watch this, but I remember just recently how fucked up he got off just pouring some of that greenest
Yeah.
grog into him. He was messed up.
I shout at the bartender, bartender, 2 more beers, please.
And he hiccups drunkenly.
The bartender does.
It takes several minutes before he kind of gives you like like I'll get over to you and he's sort of making his way back around. So several minutes pass. Is there anything you'd like to do during that time, or shall we cut over to Oric?
Rock, I have questions for you.
Yes, Grant.
How is it that you live inside of a rock? I see your head come out, your arms come out, but you are a living rock, are you not?
It's not about what you are on the outside. It's about what you are on the inside.
What's in there? Can I see what's inside your rock?
Inside is just man. I am man on the inside.
You don't make any sense to me at all. I've seen men, I've seen rocks. You're not a man, you're not a rock. What are you?
Bruh, do you think there is something here that we should be looking at?
Greena looks around. Is anyone oogling at Greena?
Yep, they sure are.
They sure are!
Who
Turtle, I know I don't know you well, but do a shot off my tits.
Gra, you see looking at you over in the far, like you were kind of just near the front of the main entrance here. It was hard to kind of push past the throngs of people. But you're sort of like near the corner of the front of this bar. And from your very tall vantage point, looking out across the crowd, in the opposite corner, sitting on like what appears to be an old ale or some kind of like rum barrel or something, is a fairly well-dressed, adventurous-looking halfling.
Oh,
You kind of catch her like just throwing a glance your way and then quickly looking away.
Bruh, I think that halfling is checking you out.
quick, do a shot off my tits. Let's go talk to them.
I do a shot off it, off his tits.
Wait, a sec.
Oh, sorry, I'm not there.
Yeah.
And that distracted me, and I look back at the halfling.
Yeah, let's walk towards the halfling.
Wait.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
9.
He did a shot off of his tits?
Yep.
Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
my question.
I've got the hat of changing on. It looks like I have tits, but I don't really.
There's no physics sim going on
I would
there
like to
at
think
all.
like the shot glass gets put on the tit and then it just goes
Yeah.
right through.
You
Yeah.
you
Nothing there.
gradually go, yeah, do a shot, and you go to place it between your tits, and to most people around, it looks like you just sloppily spilled and dropped the shot. And as you look up from the sound of breaking glass at your feet, you see that halfling girl give you a wink and then hop off her barrel and start walking through the crowd.
Oh, we go at. Wait, Turtle, come on! We gotta go. And then
Okay.
we go after her.
Yeah, we go after
I
the.
pick up Turtle under my arm and we moved.
I
Okay.
retract into my shell, so it's easier for him to carry me.
You're gonna have turtle armor. You know that? Turtle backpack, turtle armor.
It looks like to most people you just picked up the person standing next to you and started walking through the crowd. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Oric and Grimlaw.
Yeah, we're just steadily starting
waiting.
to work away.
Okay.
Tink, tink.
I mean, obviously the main pieces that we can, Oric's looking at it with a practiced eye, is trying to figure out things that he can reuse,
So like maybe cutting off like pieces of wood, giant things that are sticking out, and repurposing them for other things. But it's
Okay.
limited in
Okay.
what he can do.
Alright. Grimlaw's giving it his all, patiently assisting you. Back in the swap shop,
Shit.
the presentation continues, and go ahead, and again with advantage, make a persuasion check for me.
Guys got this.
9
Got it.
if you're just straight like sort of back and forth bartering.
Oh yeah. I absolutely am.
Barter the fuck out of him.
Or we absolutely are.
Oh yeah.
I'm glad
Oh,
I
yeah.
dropped
Okay.
that too.
For a mere she was hoping to get a matching set of some of this like gold lacquered, there's like a plate, there's a few cups, some cutlery, it's all told really not a lot. She's like fancied by this idea of having like a fork, a knife, a plate, and a cup, and it takes you a while as Krennic is sort of pulling things out. She's like, "Oh," and she's like, I'll give you what you need for just one complete set.
Oh, nice.
Pulling 10,000 gold out.
Boy. Wow, here we go. Yeah, I can summon an item that I know is there, easily. Just think about
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I find her the set.
Okay, all right.
So you only want one set, like one plate and one everything?
That's right.
You don't,
What, two?
ma'am. Maybe you did not think. Should we show you some of the fine wares?
Your fingers like come up like out of frame. Like,
Oh, you are missing such a good bargain, but okay.
She points you to a few bolts of cloth, a rug, describes a couple of old, like around town, like small almost pull wagons that you can use. She says, it'll have like the wood supplies you need, and she's got some, some extra nails and things like that you could use for construction. Some durable twine and string for tying and fastening things. Just like a random bunch of crap that kind of could come together and sort of help Oric MacGyver his way through some stuff.
Do they equal a plate and a whatever she wanted?
you described
Was
it
that
as
the
crap.
barter?
Yeah. You feel like
Or evens?
with the wagons thrown in there for the stuff, like you feel like you got a slightly better deal, but you weren't like fucking running her through the cleaners or anything.
Right. Perfect. Okay.
All right. She says, "Well, thanks so much.
Well-
I need to run.
Alright.
Supper for the little ones."
Nothing else? Okay.
Krennic, we're going to have to get some of the car. Well, let's go get Gralina, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
It's
We'll get him.
Karina?
We'll help us get the cart.
Okay.
We head back over towards the bar
Okay.
with our new supplies. Oh, on our way to get them to go to the cart to get the wagons.
Okay. So is one of it's gonna be hard. You got the wagons and shit. Is one of you waiting outside of the bar with the wagons, and one of you going in?
Oh,
I'll
the
wait out here.
wagons.
Yeah. She basically just sold you a couple of small wagons that you'll need to
Oh, gotcha.
pull and drag,
Yeah.
I thought you
and
said
a
we
bunch
didn't
of
get it.
crap that you could throw in the back of them, I guess.
Gotcha.
I'll pull. I'll pull.
There's
Okay.
2 of them. You'd each have to
Uh-oh.
pull one. And
Yeah,
then
well,
if-
both-
Okay, wait.
You're definitely
One of
not
us can
bringing
stay
them
here,
into the
and then someone
tavern.
else- Yeah.
Not with that attitude.
I'll wait here.
Yeah, I'll be quick.
And I sit in the back of one of the wagons, and I got
Sure.
my hood up, and I
Okay.
stay absolutely still, like motionless, to the point where
User
if someone
disconnected from
glanced
your
over, they
channel.
wouldn't actually see anybody there.
I
Okay.
yell, if you hear banana, come running. So what is banana?
Okay, yeah.
Not again.
Okay. All right. 9. You enter the
User joined your
tavern.
channel.
I need you to make a perception check. It's fairly crowded.
Is it offset by the giant tittied woman having shots taken off her boobs?
Nope.
Okay.
But
Trying to.
9, you do see like sort of like people being bumped and jostled and like, you know, this thing moving through there, and you do see a slightly larger figure, and you're kind of looking for 2 people, but only see this large figure with something under its arm kind of going through. I don't know if there's a ponytail whipping around back there or what, but you see Growlina.
Galena! Galena!
Oh, hey!
I poke out my head from my turtle shell too, and look behind at
Like your head's facing backwards as I'm holding it? Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Boom.
We're gonna need some help with these carts out front. Krennic is watching them.
Hey, Cat, I think I got a buyer. Oh shit, it's club music. I think I got a buyer for our beer.
We didn't want to sell it, remember?
Fuck.
Did you
Right.
promise the beer to somebody?
Maybe I had a little too much Miller time. Maybe it's time. Maybe it's time to go back. Turtle. Hey, Turtle.
Hi.
How do you feel about just going back and hanging out?
Greener, you look like you were chasing something. Why are you carrying the turtle?
There's this person over across the bar, and she keeps winking at me.
I extend my legs and stand up straight.
Wait, is she?
But you're under a cloak, right?
Yeah. I still have the cloak on. Oh wait. Well, yeah,
I-
I have my own cloak, don't I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I go back to normal.
Go ahead and make a deception check for me on your skill list there.
Uh-oh.
Is it
Turtle.
closer, right?
It'd be on your character sheet on that like second tab. On the right side there'll be deception, like a -3. I think you just click that guy.
What skills?
Did you
Let
say
me share my screen.
-3 for deception check?
Oh no.
I
Oh,
love that -3
He's
charisma.
sharing screen.
Oh, no.
It's under your skills, Sean.
Oh, skills.
yeah.
Okay.
And then drag the -1,
which
the
one was
negative
it?
whatever
It
you
was,
have.
Deception.
Deception.
Basically, you're trying to pop back out of your shell after being carried through a crowded bar and maintain the disguise that was carefully set up by someone other than yourself.
Okay,
I'm under
fuck, sir.
skills.
Should be deception.
Oh, deception. I see.
And then you have the number there. Yep, there you go.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
Wait.
The
am I
music
near
breaks out.
I'm right near him. Yeah.
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
quickly give him some words of encouragement.
Okay.
Come on, I need your help.
What-
Matsumoto,
What is it? What can I help with?
we need to, and then so that was. Because why did you have to roll? Oh, for your deception, yes.
He was
Because-
coming
now-
out from under my arm.
9. You can depending on how you're doing this. How are you doing this exactly? Okay. There you go.
Yes.
Okay, Matsu, go ahead and roll just a d6 from your dice board there. This is like a bonus you get from the bard.
Which one's the D6? I'm sorry.
It's the cube, the
It's
regular
the
normal.
Monopoly dice.
Second one, yeah.
Okay.
At least it's
Uh,
over 10.
9, you kind of like stumble in behind like this.
Trying to fix him up.
Yeah, and you whisper this to him as you say, and kind of like look back and start singing a few words, distracting people a little bit. It's like,
Stand up straight, put the cloak over your eyes a little bit more.
this place is crowded enough,
I
drunk enough
put
that
the-
you kind of pull off your little smoke screen.
We made like a little restroom. You know, we went to the bathroom together and we just
Yeah.
powdered up.
So are we in
Okay.
the bathroom right now?
No.
Okay. Sorry.
I was just kidding.
Yeah,
Right.
you're out on the
Funny
very
joke.
crowded floor. Gra, you're looking all about. Make a perception check. You're not seeing the gnome at first glance.
Oh, it's a gnome, huh?
You think so?
More, it's not.
The quick little thing's gone. Whatever it was.
Gra snaps out of it. It's like, it must have been my imagination. and he walks out. He walks out with
Was
Cat and
Was it
Rock.
Tom Haverford?
I think. Hey, 8-9.
Yeah.
I think I might have seen Tom Haverford over there. You know that guy likes to party. He likes to party better than anybody.
He's the most partier.
He's probably got all sorts of beer and weed. Jeez.
Who's this man?
We
You know
hallucinated
him,
a
sir.
long time ago, and we saw a man called Tom Haverford.
9, you've distracted the turtle. You see Grok kind of like looking around, mumbling.
Tom Haverford.
Most people have gone about their business. Is there anything you'd like to be doing?
Get them out to the cart to help Critic.
Okay.
and myself.
The two of you, whilst in there, did hear a number of people talking about, one last round before we get ready to hit the road. You get the sense that the caravan might be leaving before it gets super dark outside, probably in the next hour.
Oh shit.
Ra naturally gravitates towards the yoke of the caravan, and he saddles himself up and he starts to pull.
Okay.
Oh.
Uh,
Should we just connect these two? Who
Yeah,
else is gonna
probably.
Krennic, you've been outside this whole time?
Yeah. Lifeless.
Make a perception check.
Watching.
Watching.
Yeah, dude. Like a
Like a
perched
monk.
bird, dude. Yeah, perched bird monk. Even better.
Oh.
You noticed
Hoods
a
up.
very particular gentleman and several attendants walking towards both to get their horses out, who were stabled up near the tavern. The gentleman with like hands in a robe, just kind of like long, just dark gray robe. That similar to like a monk or a mage. And he's just sort of striding forward towards the horse, waiting for his attendants to bring it forward. They help him up, and then walk him towards the caravan. You notice this man has no eyebrows, and wears a hat with ear flaps covering his whole head, aside from the robes draped around his body.
Huh.
But
What color are those robes?
Like a dark gray color.
Okay, not pro. Okay. Weird.
Yeah.
Rod turns himself into a buffalo.
Most of the other people you've seen come and go, other than like the more burly caravan guard or sellsword, there's definitely been a lot of people in the past 10 minutes kind of heading towards the north side of town.
Oh. Lots of activity, like kind of
Yeah.
like unusual.
Yeah, like just people getting ready for a road trip.
Yeah. Yeah, we heard they might be leaving at nightfall. Okay. Can I, after like the place kind of clears out a little bit, I want to just jump up to the roof, and then just crawl up to like maybe like
Of
the
the
highest
tavern?
yeah, and then
Okay.
just crawl up to the highest point on this roof just to see like what part. Like I want to get a gauge of if they're congregating here, what would be the best place to like maybe maneuver our wagons in there or something, like try to get a good entry target.
Basically, north of Daggerford is more of the trade way. On
Yeah.
either side of the main road as it opens up, on the inside of town and just beyond. Most of the carts are almost like kind of parked on a slight diagonal, like into the road, on each side, just staggered, pretty far along, right? And it appears to be in the neighborhood, in terms of number of wagons, of about 60.
Okay.
Oh wow.
And is there any? Well, do I see detail of all this?
I mean, you can, get a general sense of things.
Okay. Is there anyone
You're not super
like
far from this.
checking these wagons, or are they all managed by their own people?
It's incredibly varied. Some wagons are being
Okay,
personally
cool.
attended to and situated. Others are completely abandoned, as far as you can tell.
Right.
Or
It doesn't
just,
look like
just parked.
military or anything. Like someone's checking off the list and making sure.
Oh yeah, no. This is very.
Okay.
Theirs is very free form.
Cool. Okay. Okay. Oh. Okay. Cool. All right. I'll go back down to our wagons.
Okay. You head back down. At this point, everyone has congregated near your tethered wagons.
shoot.
And Oric's not parked very far from where you all are, probably just
Yeah.
about 5 minutes.
Gra
I
has
relay that
trouble
in.
finding the cart because it looks different.
You found our cart though. I mean, we brought you out.
Oh shit. Okay.
Uh,
I still have trouble finding it.
I relay the information like, hey, everyone seems to be gathering at the gate. They look ready to be taking off here. It's got to be immediate. We could line up in their line and then just blend right in.
How much progress have we made?
I'm glad you asked, because I was about to ask you to make a profession check. So just roll a d20, and I'm going to add +6. 'Cause it's
Profession?
mostly strength in your proficiency bonus.
I
What
am
for this particular
experiencing
task?
some help from my
You
friend.
are, which is gonna certainly affect the difficulty rating you have to beat.
What if we made our cart look like the one in the graphic?
So
I'm
I feel-
fucking fire!
I feel very dwarvish right now.
Murden is
And you
speaking
fucking
for you.
fire tonight!
If you want,
Are you kidding me?
You can convert your cart that was not exactly like the graphic into exactly like the graphic.
It is the graphic.
It is surprisingly different when the crew rolls up. Like enough where
Okay.
they're almost confused if it weren't for Oric and Grimlaw obviously working on it.
Rod keeps walking by like he doesn't even know.
Grimlaw's just got a small cloth that he's like damping some sweat around his. He's like, we do fine work together, Oric. I'll be waiting in my loft when we're ready to go.
Yeah,
Motherfucker.
that we do. Hey, okay, listen, thank you for bringing the materials. I believe we can make some revisions as we travel. So help me break it down for wood scraps real quick, just some of it, and then we need to get in line. It looks like everybody's lining up.
Yeah.
And then Oric is gonna take his dwarvish motivation and just start fucking decimating those carts into scrap materials.
Alright, with all the preparations Grimlaw has lined up for you and your considerable professionalism here, with your 25, you're able to use like the half hour you would need to finish your modifications that you've prepped. And put the finishing touches on with the final materials. Like, you already had stuff framed out for like the new fabrics and things like that, and in the extra wood that you've gotten, you're able to not only modify your cart, but kind of save the extra wheels and the extra pieces from the wagon to kind of have like a repair kit stashed in your wagon if you so choose. You
Wow.
have space for that.
I choose all of that.
What are you turning the trailer keg into that is still very much filled with lots of loot? That's my biggest question.
And a ballista.
So
Yep.
I still think the idea is to make it not a barrel. So I would say it would to be almost to enclose the barrel, right? So as long as it's not an because people see shapes, so I'm thinking like if they see lots of cylinders, I'm making it very square shape. I'm giving it some
Like
edges.
train car shit.
I still want it to be able to break down if we absolutely need a ballista. I don't know if I have time to do that, but I'm thinking in that vein of like
Okay.
round shape to square shape.
Yeah, right. Like, I mean, with a round shape, you can kind of just put some wall paneling like around it and stuff, and kind of build like a more structured wall-like shape.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. I buy it, and then I'd say like 30-40 minutes go by. You're making all of these tweaks.
There you
You feel like you've got two at least very clear options. If there are more, up to you. But considering how far along this procession is, you either have to fall into the back or fucking roll all the way past everyone and go near the front. Like, it's all the in-between's pretty filled in. Right? It's pretty dense.
We could do the
I'll go back. Yeah, back is best.
I was, yeah, maybe.
I feel like the front's like a trap because like we're gonna be exposed no matter what, versus being able to see what happens and then react to it. makes
That's
sense.
a valid reason. I would support that. Unless anybody argues otherwise. Front or back? Everybody good with back?
Hey, Turtle,
Back.
Height.
The caboose.
The
you want to be in the
caboose.
front or the back?
The caboose.
I would opt for
The front.
Why?
because I'm a ranger, right? So I have it would be advantageous for me to be in the front.
Well,
So I
this
can
is
see.
this is your wagon placement in like this moving, traffic jam. If you
Like
will.
hundreds of wagons. Do you want to be in the front or the back?
So you
so-
individually, you don't have a horse, but you could, on foot, keeping a very brisk pace, could move along with the caravan on foot, or you could try to secure a horse before you left, but you don't have a lot of time.
How much stamina do I have? Like how fast ahead of the caravan could I run to like kind of scout?
You could
what's to come?
you could do it in bursts, right? Like it's kind of not unlike what Krennic did the other night, where you could break away from the caravan and with some speed, kind of catch back up and then rest in the wagon again.
Okay. Well, I'll just say I'm gonna take the front. I'm gonna stay with the front.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, are you going off on your own?
Oh wait. So I need a horse though.
And
Well-
you're cloaked.
Yeah.
And I'm cloaked.
Are you going?
Wait, where are you guys? I'm sorry.
We're in,
I'm lost.
we're in the back. We're in the back.
You're
We're
in the
back.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to the back.
Just
with
stay
you
with
guys.
the party.
I'm staying with
I
the
grab
party.
him and I say, just stay back here. We don't want you to be put into another hole
Yeah.
again.
Hey. Well, actually, listen. During the trip, we're gonna need reconnaissance.
I understand.
And if you're good at that, then you can move ahead into the middle part and try to find things for us. But probably stay with us, I'm thinking.
Okay, I stay a healthy pace ahead of the team, but not too far as I would get caught
Okay.
out alone.
I mean that's fine. Then yeah, when the caravan's fully moving, again, like I said, like you wouldn't be able for long stretches of time to be
Okay.
Not riding along or on
Right.
some kind of
I stay with the
mount.
team.
Okay, gotcha.
Back it is.
All right, they'll let you know when they're doing a little reconnaissance. Okay. Everything, as far as you can tell, goes as planned. It's getting later. Most of the rabble have spilled out of the tavern, although plenty of people are still there. Probably maybe people rolling in from your caravan or people who are just local. The caravan that you are pulling up the rear on is getting ready to depart
Oh.
and make its way towards Waterdeep, which will be about a 15 to 20 day journey.
Ron wants to go
Yeah.
put a.
You've just put about 40 days behind you.
Oh shit! I didn't realize that was 40 days.
Yep.
Goodness gracious.
Dude, we've been doing this for like 3
Actually,
weeks.
40.
Yep.
This guy. It'll
Alright,
probably be about 7 to 10 days actually. Looking at the map, from Daggerford to Waterdeep. And you don't know what's happening beyond Waterdeep, at least not explicitly.
Right, like mission-wise, we were just told to follow them, right? As best we can.
Correct.
Yeah.
Infiltrate.
And icing on top of the cake, we know that there were 2 out of 3 carts before that were part of our caravan, and it's not unlikely that they are still part of our current caravan, or more.
Yeah.
Could be 2 or more carts that are cultists.
I'm thinking there's probably a whole lot more in this one, but
Yeah, because they kind of like called out the rest of the normies, right?
As we get closer to the destination, yeah.
Would I recognize any of the cultists if I? Because I
A good question.
I got attacked and all that, so
You definitely would have a very good chance of that. Yeah.
I also would like to look around as my brain is starting to think of how these routes meet.
Mm-hmm.
and we once happened upon a
Oh, yeah.
broken down wagon, and I'm
Yeah.
curious if I see that wagon, if I've noticed that wagon over the last few days.
Well, just in general, hearing Matsuo speak of Neverwinter, and reflecting on your knowledge, traveling through areas of the Sword Coast, you begin to describe some of the surrounding region now that you've taken some time to sit down and explore the map with your peers. Just go ahead and you as the wagon train winds on, you weave tales of all these exotic locations up and down the Sword Coast, to the north, to the mountains, the Great Peak Mountains, the Great Desert of Anorak, and the Black Road beyond, the great fucking spine of the world that's frozen all the way to the north. But obviously the most prominent thing you're all heading towards right now is this all roads lead to Waterdeep mentality, both by land and by sea.
Okay. Get deep, boys.
No one, no one really goes through the high forest if you kind of zoom way the fuck out here. Everything genuinely would have to channel through this main vein that is Waterdeep.
Okay.
Yep.
The main vein.
Throbbing vein
Of destiny.
of destiny.
Clop, clop, clop. You move
Alright.
on.
Yeah, we keep marching forward. Yep.
How late are you guys thinking we're playing tonight? Just so I know.
I mean, that's a perfectly fine spot to lock off if you like.
Up to you. I'm down. I have a 3-day weekend, ladies and gentlemen.
I can go
Me
do it.
too.
I can do
I
whatever.
I do as well.
I'm fine.
Let's do this Monday.
I have work on.
Uh,
I can't
yeah,
do
I
it.
work Monday.
Let's do this Sunday. No. Let's keep going until Sunday.
I'm happy to keep going for
I
a little
work
while if you
tomorrow.
want.
Sean, how late can you stay up tonight?
I can stay up as late as I want. I can go in pretty much any time I want tomorrow.
Well, I don't want to. We don't want to fuck you. I mean, it's
No,
like,
dude, I'm not gonna get fucked.
Speak
Cool.
for yourself.
all right. Well, let's do it.
Okay.
Let's combat.
Your caravan rolls on. Barring anything explicit, I'm gonna do some time warping fun again.
Gra wants to talk to Krennic a lot about food and about how we can not cook the same goddamn thing every single day.
Okay.
Yeah, we need to invent meals.
We know everyone likes what we're cooking, but we know that we're not gonna get anywhere if we don't make a new meal.
Yeah. Okay.
Broaden those horizons.
So we're scouting.
What kind of ingredients are you tinkering with?
Well, I mean, so we're basically in a field, right? Like we got like rice to deal with, right? Like big grass, corn and rice, tubers, potatoes.
Animals?
Yeah, what kind of
Game?
animals we got here?
If only
God
you
damn.
had someone with you who knew the lay of the land really well.
God damn it, where is he? God!
Oh, I'm here.
Any anyone else? Anything in particular come to mind that they would be doing over the first few days of the 7 to 10 that lie ahead of you?
I want to play with Cat. I wanna put something on a string in front of him and like pull it up.
I fall for it every now and again.
Yep.
Or
Wait, was I supposed to do a ranger thing?
Not yet. Just keep that in mind for a second. Oric, what do you got
Okay.
going on?
as much crafting as I can do. So whether that's like poison arrows, or if I know we said that I probably don't have the materials and shit to do flame things. But
You
if
had
anybody
2,000 gold
needs-
worth, right?
Whoa. Yeah, can you poison these darts? And I've got some darts.
I did do one of the items was a poison item that I disenchanted and figured out how it worked.
No.
says Voltrox arrow, 10 days with apprentice, 25 gold pieces a day, results in a stack of 20. That's for poison stuff.
Oh my god, those are so expensive.
I know.
But they're probably worth it.
So
Probably.
I would probably figure out if I could even do anything. If I couldn't do anything, I don't know, I would.
Well, while he's doing that, I want to like keep a lookout for him, so to make him feel comfortable. Or you just focus on what you're doing. I will keep a keen eye for anything that is bizarre.
Oh, thank you.
I will allow you 9 to make an insight or a deception check. I'll tell you why in a minute.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna use this. Can I? Because I'm
Whatever
better
you
at
want.
deception. Okay.
Whatever's better in this case.
Well, that's a good thing we went with the better one.
You, in a cart also near the back, you see kind of peering out from the rear this female gnome.
Her name is.
I announce. She looks very familiar. That is the halfling from the bar.
You don't see her yet.
Oh, you don't? What?
No,
Oh shit!
yeah,
Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. Nine on lookout with his deception check. You noticed someone trying to just like it was almost so sly that you didn't pick it up, but you just sort of see her kind of like peeking out from her curtains, almost as if they let their wagon slow down a little bit.
Okay.
She's clearly has some kind of interest in your group.
Biddy, I have a question.
And 1 second. You see her say, "Psst."
You got me.
How far away is she?
She's maybe about 50 feet away from you in a wagon up ahead.
Okay.
Marinate on that for a second. Gra.
Is she related to Squishface?
That Frulum?
What? Oh.
Look at her face! Come on!
yeah.
It's a silly joke. Come on.
Yeah. Alright then, 9.
I use message back to her. I say,
Oh.
"What is your interest with my party?"
You hear this is probably on like let's just say day 2 when this happened. You hear back.
Hey, we want the same things. Let's talk tonight during camp.
The curtain flutters and shuts.
Okay.
No one other than 9 really saw or heard any of this.
I relate to Krennic only because the Harper. I know Krennic from the Harpers in our time,
Yeah, sure.
so I relate to Krennic.
Yeah.
So we should meet with him tonight, I think. But I am very wary.
Is she a Harper?
I didn't see any indications that she was.
Yeah, let's check tonight.
Okay.
Am I in the same room?
You are. This was probably happening up near the driver's area of the wagon, or up top on the lookout.
Okay, I walk up to shit, I forgot your name. 9. I walk up to 9.
Hey, 9!
and I inquire about this person, and I 9. Can you describe to me features of this person? Describe to me what you saw.
What are you talking about?
Didn't you see a person?
I mean, I see people all the time. I don't know what you seem to be on about.
You could tell that whatever Krennic and 9 were talking about, they don't feel like they trust you well enough yet to
Just yet.
Okay.
clue you in.
I awkwardly recede back into my shell.
With the eye that's just pointing out.
God
Like
damn.
through like the armhole.
Really slowly, really slowly.
You blink.
I'm just a shell on the ground now.
Go ahead and make a stealth check for me there, Matsu.
What is it?
You were not stealthy.
Oh, stealth.
Is
on
stealth?
your skill sheet.
Skills. Stealth. Okay, I found it.
I can't wait for you to not be stealthy.
Shit. This one.
Oh.
Yeah, they're just
You made
like
a slurp noise.
the conversation goes quiet as you just kind of lurk in your shell a little too close. Auric, you make progress on your little project. You said you're trying to make arrows.
Whatever Krennic was asking, what was it like? So I have bolts
Yeah.
that I know that I personally would like, but also I think Krennic, didn't you request something? Darts.
Okay.
If you could
So-
fancy up my darts.
Yeah.
I will attempt to do probably half and half.
Okay. Well, I only
Probably-
have like 5 darts.
Okay, I would do
I've
a
6.
bundle. I would do a bundle of 3 each. Is how I would work. I would work in batches of 3, probably.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Make a just roll a d20 for me. I'm just doing like a profession.
Uh-oh.
How much do
Okay.
I have? I have no gold though. I am
Oh,
cannot
shit! We're on
Murder is
fire tonight.
piercing through you.
On within your first attempt here, you pull out a batch of all 5 darts and 5 bolts.
Okay. I will add Krennic here.
Yeah.
We were pretty fortunate with
Oh,
this
wow.
batch. Here's 5 darts for you. They're dipped in poison.
Okay.
And they activate once they hit the target. It should the poison. Well, we'll have to see how well the poison, how efficient it is. It should be pretty immediate.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll try to see
much
what
do
else
I
I
owe
can
you?
do. Oh, you don't owe me anything. No. this is-
I have to pay you back somehow.
Well, just why don't you listen? And Auric leans in a little closer.
He's gonna kiss him.
I love your food, but maybe learn a new recipe.
Oh, that's a double dig.
It's a good.
And
Graf feels it in his heart. He feels the dig in his heart.
I mean, it's
That's a
very
good
good.
It's like, oh!
It's very good, but just maybe, the greenness chicken is very tasty, but maybe.
Yeah.
There's a psychic bond between Krennic and Grod. And it hurts. It hurts bad.
Yeah. Good. It's a good note.
I'm sorry. I know.
We take it to heart.
But okay. And or just kind of pats Krennic on his shoulder, like,
It's
alright.
It's okay. I go to Gra.
Are you crying? Are you like what? What animals cry? Like
Let's just sit down silently next to you and like. So, I think we should try to cook something new.
was it that bastard halfling?
What? Cook the halfling?
Who
No.
told you? Who told you to cook something new?
No, I mean no. It's just I think we should. I have 2 recipes in my spell book.
I've been feeling it too.
Spell book.
You don't have to lie about it. You don't have to.
Well,
It's terrible. It's terrible.
no. Look, we make the best greenest game hen I've
Yeah,
ever
we do.
tasted.
We do.
But variety is the spice of life.
It is.
And I
It
think we
is.
should- Okay, how about this? I have a plan. What if we
Okay.
make some friends in the caravan that may let's make a pass of the caravan.
Okay.
Next time we're stopped, and then maybe do a little smelling around for some good smells,
Okay. I know how
and
to
then
do that.
ask them for recipes.
Okay. All right. That sounds great.
Yeah, next time we stop,
It can't be an embarrassment. We're the best.
you can go as Greena. I'll just put my hood up.
Yeah.
Find recipes. You and me will do it.
Okay.
I was embarrassed.
So Krennic.
nighttime rolls around and the caravan rolls to a stop. 9, where are you around this time, would you say?
I was gonna say I wanted to ask Gra.
Oi!
You said you saw a lady, a small lady in the bar, in the tavern.
I did. She was wee tiny, like a little baby.
Do you know what she wanted?
I don't know what she wanted. Turtle Man pulled me out.
I pulled you out. You were carrying me.
You were carrying him. I do remember seeing this now.
I don't know what she wanted. I point randomly like, you. It's your fault.
I then look at Greena, because you're still dressed as Greena, I assume.
My tits are
And-
glistening in the.
I think second about telling him. I think twice about telling him about what I just saw. It's okay. Well, thanks for the information. And I just kind of rely more on Krennic for this one.
For the girl.
Yeah. About
Yeah.
seeing her this evening.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I know, but and then I looked down at
It's
Critic.
great. Thank you.
Well, I don't know who this is.
So yeah, I just want to get ready for going out and meeting.
Okay.
I looked down at the turtle. He's in his shell. His head is sucked in. Perhaps he knows.
All right.
We
No. We don't.
He was with me.
Nine, as,
I curiously poke my head out just a little bit.
as you're preparing, you kind of hear
No, it's too late.
you hear near the wall where you've been kind of standing near the front of the thing. You not an arrow, but you hear like a plunk in the wood on the side of your wagon.
Oh.
A plunk.
Like pull back the curtain.
Gra investigates.
Who's there?
I also walk up to where the investigating is happening, and I poke my head out as well, and extend my head as much as possible, so I get
You're
like,
there first.
a view. I need a good view.
Are we
as
racing
I go.
your head? Is your head like getting to the...
Peeking out still awkwardly near you, Krennic and Nine near the front of the wagon is Matsuo's turtle head. You see with a
guys.
very just generic dagger plunked into the side of your wagon is a small hand scribed note.
I grab the note.
You would not be the first person in that region.
Well, your head would be.
I retract my head.
It'd be, yeah, you know, spatially imagine like the front of the wagon. You're like, that's here. These guys are standing near there.
Okay.
Where's this note now?
Like literally on the side of the wagon.
Yeah. So
I'm
I
assuming
pulled the
Critic's
curtain.
there. Yeah.
I pulled the curtain back. Did I see?
Yep.
Okay, and then I see the note. I would open the door, grab it, and close the door again.
Okay.
And then give it to 9.
Oh.
I open it quickly like a gift card that you know is gonna have $1 million in it,
What do you got there, cat?
and then I open it up. What's it say?
Says dinner plans canceled. They're on to me. Speak again soon.
God damn it!
Wait. Do you say that?
That's what the note says. I don't know.
That's what.
Nine. What does it
not
say?
sharing that
You
information.
share it.
Yeah.
As soon as I hear it, I'm like, what? I go back to the door, open it, and then I look around to see if I can find her.
Make a perception check. You can go ahead and make a perception check as well there, Matsuo. You've been eavesdropping close
Can
enough
I
here.
percept?
We don't
Can
have
I
a lantern
percept?
or revealing.
Empty. Just empty.
You see
You need that
nothing.
lantern.
I'm gonna percept anyway.
Oh.
Sure, Gra.
I take a few steps out there and
Everyone's looking around. I mean,
Oh,
everyone's kind of like parked at this point. You stopped for the evening for dinner.
Okay.
It's dark. There's a lot of campfire and torchlight.
Have an
You
idea.
don't see anyone who could have
Have an
left
idea.
this. Yeah.
2 birds, 1 stone.
Oh, that's an old ancient saying in your
I like
people.
where this-
Yes,
going.
and I know birds. We go round looking, but under the pretense of smelling the foods in the air, and then we could also be truthful about our agenda.
Do
You know what I
find
mean?
any recipes?
Well, I'm saying like we can go looking around and asking, and also have like a legit agenda that we are also trying to serve. Yes.
That idea could totally work. Do you
You
think,
guys need greenish chicken.
do you think it would
No.
put
God, no, it's not
How about just a little bit? I'm sorry, I can't help it.
we'll eat the leftovers. It's fine.
Okay.
the person that is trying to contact us? Do you think it would put her at risk by finding her right now, though,
I
or
do.
him or her?
I kind of. That's why even after reading it, Nine is not really in a search. He kind of takes the note for face value.
Hmm.
For some reason.
Yeah,
Feelings.
I'm kind of with 9 on this one.
But what if she's in trouble? Sounds like she's in trouble.
Well, I don't
think she's in
I
trouble.
don't think it's a bad idea for you guys to go out. I think we just don't try to necessarily find this person if they're in some shit. Unless they're in like deep shit. Does that make sense?
Right? If they are, what if they are in deep shit right now, and we need to, and they would be safer in our caravan rather than out
Well,
alone.
Then I trust your judgment, and perhaps you could have.
Her letter
I'm
did not
sorry.
sound too emergency-ish.
No, but
I chime in.
it's someone with a sense of honor. I get that.
I can also understand
Honor. Whoa, you know honor?
I know.
I don't know whose this honor is you are talking about, but
Maybe it's like your honor. Like maybe they're talking about a judge.
Your honor?
Yeah. But also, if you're looking for recipes, you might have to trade your own recipes. And just as an idea. And also, Matsu, what kind of weapons are you using? And listen, I'm gonna make them better. So
he drew a bow earlier.
Yeah.
I did. I have bow and arrow and also 2 katana
Oh.
for each hand.
Gra is
Very
impressed.
Light,
light-looking long
short.
blades.
Yeah. Yeah, well, long blades.
Interesting. Okay.
He looks at them like squint, like wink in the wind.
I kind of like grind them together, kind of like I'm sharpening them on themselves, and they're making these like shing shing shing.
The light
noises.
catches them and
And-
Gra is
yeah.
impressed.
Yeah,
feels like that place Benihana's. You might be a great chef for us.
I don't know this place,
I can give you
Benihana's.
some performance tips, and pretty soon we could be a whole dinner and show.
You could light an onion on fire.
Do you?
Trust me? Do you trust me to take your bow and to do some a little work on it?
Gross.
He means
my
modifications.
my bow is shit, but
I mean-
sure, here you go.
He hands you the bow, and I think what we're all thinking and hearing in our minds whenever Oric picks up an item with those loving eyes lately is just
He's gonna fuck it.
it's just that fucking
Yeah! He's gonna fuck that weapon. I'll make love to you.
he's just caressing the handcrafted haft of your bow and cradling it and looking at you like, I'll take care of your bow, baby, don't worry.
Gonna improve
Be
it
in good hands.
through the night.
And Grimlaw's just there nodding like, oh yeah.
Things is good.
He improves that weapon.
Next time, can we get
Crafty.
Marvin Gaye and
You know,
that would
give me a window into your brain's jukebox, okay? And just give me some heads up.
That's it right there. Give me some sexual healing, and I'm
Alright.
all set.
Okay. Alright. Right, they
And
walk
that's
away.
how you
They walk
upgrade a
away with your
weapon.
bow. You're not really sure what's gonna happen to it.
Man, it's feeling a little shaky already.
It's gonna come
Falling
back a
into
man.
rust. You're losing control.
Anything else going on this very quiet but shady evening?
I wanna look at Krennic and be like, hey, we still haven't made anything special.
Well, let's go find some recipes.
I push into Gra, but he's too big for me. And
Whoa!
I noticed that he's very strong and back away.
Whoa! Yeah, a little too close there, Rock.
Rock, how about you come with us?
Hi.
Hi.
Hi! And everyone looks into each other's eyes and we're like, hi! Yeah.
So, hi.
We have an understanding.
Hi.
Hi.
Let's go.
Okay. Anything in particular you're after?
Yeah, smells.
Oh, yeah.
Smells.
Meat
Yeah.
smells, beverage
Meat,
smells.
vegetables,
All of that.
spices.
This whole time I'm still clanging
We-
together my
Cumin,
swords as if
garlic.
like I'm trying to impress people.
Me and Krennic want a new recipe, and we're gonna bring Rock with us.
Yeah.
Alright. Your common sense meter does kick in a little bit. Once again, remembering that you are surrounded by people who put you in the road. So you have to use a little caution.
Oh no!
Can we disguise
So
you?
your phone a friend DM things will be running short after this first session, but
Wait, maybe we should,
Yeah, let's go back to the cart. Let's go back.
Wait. 9.
Yeah, that's
You- Alright, okay, fine. If 9 can't make him a disguise, how about, Gra, you and I go?
Matsu, actually, I probably need you here anyways for, you know.
Yeah, see you, chump. And then,
Okay, see ya!
bye.
Sure.
We all go off looking for recipes.
I stay with Orc.
okay.
And
Oh, I'm staying as well to keep watch.
Okay.
Oric starts explaining the very painful process of how he goes through and like details out weapons, and it's like dwarvish level of detail. Which is way
And then the hilt goes on to the sword.
but it's beautiful to Oric's ears. Yeah.
It takes an incredibly long, dedicated amount of
Last thing
time.
I do is fully extend my neck because I'm so excited about the craftsmanship of.
Oh, gross! I see what you're doing there.
Yeah, you look aroused.
Yeah, that's a penis you got on your neck.
9, are you just watching out from like the bench seat up front, or are you up top on
I like to think I'm pacing.
like inside the wagon, just kind of looking out, or
Yeah, like
Outside, up
imagine
top?
inside, looking out the front, and any kind of
Okay.
like holes along the way. I can peek through.
all right. While you sort of pace and kill time and keep watch, make a perception check.
No.
With pleasure. With what? What a pleasure. Come on, Steam controller, don't fuck on me. It's all gravy. It's all gravy.
Yeah, it's all gravy. It's such a beautiful night, Like,
Oh God!
it's just
It's
nice.
just-
It's nice to have a night of just relaxing, right? It's finally.
It's not good. Wake up, night.
You're wide awake, man. You just fucking having a little pipe smoke, whatever you do. It's chilling.
Yeah, I feel a little bit slower from
Nice.
having so much Greenest beer the night before that
Yeah.
it just it's still fogging my head up.
Yeah, makes sense. All right. Well, the night goes on very uneventfully. Any last requests?
Do
For
me and
morning-
Krennic witness any smells?
Yeah.
Morning stew.
We're looking for recipes.
Recipes?
Yeah.
Okay.
We feel bad. We feel real bad.
Roll. Follow your nose and both roll just a raw d20.
Ooh, both.
Oh,
Both, huh? Okay.
I'm gonna roll down. I'm rolling down. Yeah.
Oh,
There we
yeah, you
go.
rolled down.
I rolled down.
It's funny on my screen.
Krennic-
actually.
Oh shit! It was a 1 on my screen.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a one on
Yeah.
my.
Oh wow.
One on my screen as well.
Krennic, you're convinced you smell some kind of delicious stew.
Oh, Stu, this way.
Gra,
stew.
you think he's
What do I smell?
crazy. You just smell this very, very sweet, almost berry-like wine or aroma
Ooh.
wafting out
Sweet berry
from a nearby
wine?
camp.
Krennic, I smell sweet berry wine.
Wine.
I smell it.
Stew.
I smell it as clear as I smelled my mom's teeth when I was 2 years old.
Okay, well, to be honest, I'd take a wine over a stew. So let's go with the wine.
This way!
Okay.
You roll up on a camp of robed men, all men.
Oh man.
Krennic,
What kind of robes?
Immediately recognize the very particular gentleman in town.
Oh shit! No eyebrows.
No
Uh-oh.
eyebrows, still wearing his hat.
I saw him earlier. He has no eyebrows. Look at that.
Yeah,
Don't
that's
stare.
fucked. I'm trying not to. I'm trying. And I keep looking over, like I keep glancing at him.
How close are you getting as you follow your scent just to the outskirts of this camp?
Let's get in there.
All right, Gra walks up with Krennic confidently.
And you're Greena.
I mean, I'm Greena.
Yeah. Okay, you're Greena.
Yep, I am the female Gra.
And oh yeah. And yeah, we walk up and hey, well met.
Oi! I smelled your fantastic wine.
Yes, we were just on a date night.
Yeah,
Strolling
together. We're together.
The caravan.
I love birds.
Smell this wine.
Love 'em.
Are you still dressed
And
up as Yarlina?
I
Yep.
love wine.
It is.
I love birds. Anything birds love, I love. So,
But you know what? I'd love to talk wine things with you.
oh,
Maybe recipe,
like that special recipe we have.
compliments to the chef.
Yeah, the
Talk
special green recipe.
The robed figure wearing the hat gestures to the person next to him just because does a little hand signal.
Like fucking go talk to them.
Doesn't even make eye contact with you. And he kind of rushes forward. He's like, please, my lord's camp does not wish to be disturbed. Please just be on your way.
Oh no, yeah, we won't disturb your camp or anything, but we'd love to talk to your chef.
I mean, do they not want any of this delicious greenest beer we have here?
Oh, because we would give your lord the finest meal in all of
The Sword Coast.
the Sword Coast.
Sounds like they don't want it. I don't
No.
know if they want it.
Yeah, you're right.
We
They
should probably just go.
probably
We should
don't
probably
want
go.
it. But they
Yeah.
would be really missing out.
Terrible. Yep.
Fine meal.
Yes, that sounds delightful. But my lord is sensitive to unwanted company.
Yeah, no,
Please.
we don't
Oh,
want to talk
yeah.
to your lord.
Don't want to intrude.
Literally just want to talk to
Yeah.
the cook.
You
No.
understand.
I think
No.
they are wine. I think they are wine snobs. I think you found yourself onto the door of wine snobs.
I wouldn't want to spoil this 200-year-old recipe on them. That would be
That
terrible.
would be the worst. I'm
Yeah,
sure your
yeah, just
cook
let
would
them-
like to know about it.
No, terrible.
One of you can make a regular persuasion check.
Do you want to do it or do you want me
Yeah,
to do it? You should do it.
I don't think I have a negative. So
I have a -1. You should
I
do it.
don't have a negative.
Alright, do it.
That's a max.
It's the best wine ever!
One of the 8 accompanying figures sitting around this cook fire and dinner camp As this guy is kind of like escorting you back out the way you came to the south, one of the guys kind of turns and says, "You like the smell of my wine?"
Yes, I do.
Yes. But look, we haven't even tasted your wine. We love wine, and we just smelled it.
Wine connoisseurs.
Dear, tell them about the smell. How it. We were way over there. It
smells like
Wafted.
Yeah.
Wafted.
smelled like pure
berries. And,
acidic. The acidity was 6.0. It went into my nostrils and it burnt out the nostril hairs from my nose.
You mean
and
burnt
it
out all
tasted
the, yes.
tasted like burnt bananas. It was so good.
But berries.
He kind of like gets up and walks a few feet to the outskirts of like beyond their camp a little bit to kind of put the people at ease.
Do you use bananas?
Says I don't know my lord very well, but he seems very. We just shouldn't disturb him. Bananas.
Let's lower our voice a little
I've
bit.
only ever really worked on the trade way here, but there are fantastic wild berries that grow along this route, and I've run it several times now, and learned a bit of a recipe for mortar pestle, grind up the berries, ferment them on the first 20 days of the journey. About a 10-day after that, you mix in a few greens. He goes on to explain a few secret ingredients to you. Give it a little shake, let it settle, and cook in the sunshine. And by day 30, baby, you got some fine blueberry wine.
Blueberry wine. Okay.
Well, it looked blue.
Well,
The music.
Here. Okay.
Yeah. He pulls out like a glass flask or carafe almost, and like hands it to you. It's like, try a swig.
Could
we possibly...
Critic, you first, Critic. Take a swig. Take a swig.
Please, thank you. And then
Make
I
it.
lightly,
yes,
lightly.
Okay.
Yeah, and
It's delicious.
it is the most amazing, delicious blueberry.
I'm gonna try some.
wine.
I'm gonna try some.
Yeah.
Oh.
The dark fruit stains around your lips and your jaw as you pour some of it down.
Critic, your beak is blue.
Is it delicious?
Quite
though?
good. It's quite
Your
good.
beak is blue.
Oh,
Yeah.
Your scarred beak is.
the road is long and hard, but this wine makes everything feel so much
Your
more
beak
like
is so
home.
blue. It's so blue.
I love it.
Okay.
I love every minute. Please, what is your name? What is your name?
My name. Yes, I have one of those. It's.
Let me just invent it.
My friends call me Sandal.
Oh, Sandal.
Sandal.
Sandal. With a TH.
Sand.
With a fan.
Sandal.
Handle.
Fandel.
Is it like sandal with a lisp?
Fandel, this is my sweetheart, Greena.
Oh, hi. How you doing?
And I am Kron.
Oh, my love, Kron.
And we are just so happy to have met you tonight. Thank you so much. You've made our evening. So, how can we repay you, dear? We could give him our recipe for Carver's cider, which is
Carver's
exquisite.
cider.
We've learned this along the road.
I don't know. They'd have to give us the specific ingredients.
He did. Like I wrote it down here in my notebook.
Is this correct here?
I mean, yeah, we're gonna. Yeah.
Alright,
You
look.
did get him. I heard it.
Here, look. I'll give you the ingredients for the cider. Here we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we trade him the recipe and just
Alright.
thank him profusely and wish him all the best.
Yeah,
Made
you
a
could tell
friend.
He was kind of geeking out and like sharing his recipe
Nice,
over your
good
cider.
friend.
You know, and if we see him another night, we want to ask him things about other things. It's fine.
And that Grod's
It's
going
got
off.
a pretty good kick as you walk away.
Hey.
Yeah, you're feeling fine. So fine.
Don't
in
forget
fact,
the
that you
orange peel
Don't
and
recall
pepper.
the rest of your evening.
Oh, we got
Oh
fucked
no!
up.
Did you guys just get flurried?
Did we stumble back?
Did we make it back to the?
Did we make it back?
Yeah. You all seem
Okay.
kind of
This
like
sounds like date rape.
just like almost like you're like just daydreaming on like a happy gay forest walk together, like a happy couple. They come strolling back with like these blueberry-ish stains on their maws and
Wait.
faces.
What's the name of the blueberry recipe?
He
Wild
just
berry
called them
wine?
wild berries. He just called
Wild
them
berry wine.
Tradeway wild berries.
Tradeway Wildberry wine.
All right.
Sure, whatever you want to call it.
That's
Well,
it. It's
we're
in my
calling
book
it
now.
that. Tradeway Wildberry Wine.
Oh, this is the best.
DWBW.
Okay,
Yeah.
we gotta start making this tomorrow.
We're making
Gonna
this
gather some
immediately.
berries.
As soon as we sober up.
Yeah.
As soon as we not fucked
I
up.
only took a sip. This is amazing.
Every other person in back at the camp in your group, you just see them come back like tomorrow, and they both just kind of like take a dirt nap like in the grass
My
alongside
face hits
the
the
wagon.
ground.
You
I just go
all-
right into the mud.
Yeah.
curled up.
Barring anything is super explicit that the rest of you want to do, morning porridge time comes around as people are kind of getting preparations for the next day travel.
Grog wakes up in the mud.
Um,
He's happy and sad at the same time.
As has been tradition on most of the caravan stops, again, there's turns being taken in terms of like sort of mass producing a gruel and just kind of getting things moving.
Ooh.
People still sometimes eat and drink their own stuff, but at least with
Ew.
breakfast,
Yeah, it's
it's
disgusting.
it's very common to just make a big old batch of the stuff. And you all have your bowls of oatmeal or porridge in front of you, and I'd assume for the sake of rationing, you certainly partake from time to time.
Grog glops special green, almost like a ladle full of green glop into everybody's food.
Uh-oh.
Does he?
He does. He tries.
I'm asking everyone else.
He looks at everybody and then he does
Nine
it.
covers is whatever it is. I'm good, thank you, Gra.
Yeah.
I'm
Orc
still
does the
nursing
same.
my last hangover.
I will take some.
How about the turtle?
Wait, I'm not even there, right?
Yeah, you're there.
Yeah,
you're in our
Yeah, you're there.
This
This
is
is
the next
kind of
morning.
like
You're
each,
with us.
Each wagon generally parks almost like a
I've
campsite,
shown
kind of sets up. And
alcoholic
like,
tendencies in the
relative
past,
closeness.
so I'm gonna stick with that. And
You take the green glop.
yeah, give me the green glap.
All right, all right. Krennic and Gra and the turtle take the green glop.
okay.
I open my mouth and just like tilt it back 45 degrees.
Oh,
45 degrees and pour.
Jello shot that
I
shit.
That's down
Jello
there.
Shot it and I have no gag reflex, so it just goes straight down.
that's down there.
Sexy turtle. That's the sexiest thing I've ever heard.
As the turtle does this, walking up behind him, you all see that same gnome female strolling up,
No.
and she kind of puts her finger on the very slightly exposed Harper tattoo on the
Oh, no.
turtle's arm as he's like slopping this up. She says, I suggest you conceal that.
I
We
turn.
told him to.
I turn.
It's kind of like, like where like your sleeve just kind of peeks up just a
we did.
little bit while you're drinking.
Yeah. I
We
turn
definitely
to
told
the
him
to the halfling and I get aggressive.
I
Oh!
step between them. I step between them. You really need to cool your jets and learn when it is cool to pull your weapons out.
I get unaggressive.
Instantly
Matsu-
unaggressive.
Matsu retracts into a shell.
Oh.
You do notice, Nine, as you tell him to stand down, that she's produced a dagger,
Yeah.
and
Oh.
she very quickly, surprisingly so, stabs into your oatmeal and
Oh.
pulls the dagger tip out up, revealing
What a
inside the lump of oatmeal on the edge of her blade
Uh-oh.
a small object. She says it's a sliver of bone, curled into a circle with the intent that you would swallow a mouthful of that gruel without ever noticing it. and once eaten, it would slowly uncurl. She kind of flicks it to the ground inside of your guts, exposing needle-like points that will pierce your guts and kill you slowly. I suspect they're in each and every one of your breakfasts this morning.
Cut to Gra.
They're not only on to me, they're on to you. And
Cut to Gra eating oatmeal.
we don't work for the same people, but we're certainly on the same side.
I immediately just go outside and start trying to
How do we get them out? Oh god, they're already vomiting.
I'm vomiting just as
Matsu
much as I can.
slowly extends his neck back out of his turtle shell, not being afraid to talk to the halfling anymore. Realizing his mistake of being aggressive.
What is this soundtrack?
E.T. came on.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
E.T.
So I
arises.
stand back up. I'm standing up again. I'm not in my turtle shell.
Says, you all are quite the motley crew, even though I look like I could be their roadie.
Ooh.
Oof.
Ooh.
Says, you follow the cultists. And she keeps kind of like looking back towards, the other campsites, that go quite a ways.
Matsu grasps his tattoo. What are you looking for? Why? How do you recognize this?
Says,
I'm just kind of like stuttering through my speech.
I'm quite familiar with the Harpers. But we don't have much time. I need to know what it is they're carrying in those wagons and where they're taking it. I heard rumor of a roadhouse
I turn to
on the
I turn
western
to Oric.
trail past Waterdeep to the north.
I turn to Oric. Oric, I must know what is. Tell this person what is in the wagons.
Well, from our experience so far, we believe they're carrying treasure. Lots and lots of treasure. Thank you for the tip, by the way, for the food this morning. And Oric just kind of tips the bowl onto the floor. I'm glad that you came over here when you did. I appreciate it.
Is Gra close to her?
I would think he's fairly close, yeah.
Gra springs up and attempts to bear hug her into submission.
Matsu steps in between and grasps Gra's hand like Arnold Schwarzenegger and the other guy in
Dylan?
Dylan?
and we clasp hands and I say, you son of a bitch.
What? You're contesting me holding this person?
Yeah.
Right. What throw do I need to?
Athletics or acrobatics?
What's his strength?
Is this a
Yeah,
grapple?
This would be
It's just a test of like I'm in contest with Gra.
It's not a good idea.
for you would want to make a since you're stopping him, you'd have to make a strength check.
Okay.
Gra, you can make an athletics or an acrobatics check.
Let's see
Your
what Gra
arms,
rolls. Let's see what
your
Gra rolls.
arms
Wait,
getting broken, sir.
if
Oh,
Gra
wait,
rolls
shit.
a 1,
What do you?
Yeah, no.
it
Here
could
you
look
go,
like
here
the
you go.
sloppiest.
I put him in an armbar. He knows he's defeated. He poops himself. He poops himself hard.
You
like this poop
perfectly
comes out of
wrap
him.
up his arm in an awful position from you, almost to the point where you hear something just so taut, like the wishbone's about to pop and break. You're holding it, and he's collapsed onto the ground, and you're sitting on him like a small stool, like some regal stool. And your other hand is free to reach out for the gnome if you like.
Don't do it.
I reach out and I restrain her.
With disadvantage, since you just did this thing,
Yep.
Go ahead and make a dexterity check, because she's very quick.
Oh man, where's my
This is mirror grab.
No, it's me. It's me.
Okay.
me.
Yeah, sorry, go.
There we go. Oh,
You're being
fuck.
sat on.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're very much just sat on the ground.
I'm gonna do another one.
You go to. You're doing why are you doing another? one?
Because it's
Disadvantage.
disadvantage. Yeah.
Out there.
I mean, I rolled 7, so it doesn't.
She dodges your upreaching grapple attempt one-handed. It says that won't be necessary. I mean to follow them towards Waterdeep and leave from there. You've given me all the information I needed, and I thank you very much for that.
Before you go, what is this roadhouse past Waterdeep? What is that their destination? And what is that?
Some of my agents told me of a lot of strange activity, people using the abandoned road that travels west along the coast between the Sword Mountains, just north of Waterdeep. The one that now winds through the Mere of Dead Men. Obviously the most direct route to Neverwinter, but no longer used, although recently I've heard otherwise, and you've confirmed some suspicions for me. And she kind of does like a graceful bow, does one final flick of her dagger, just getting that last little bit of oatmeal that's clinging to her blade, and she frolics off ahead of you.
I'm just holding the turtle, and I feel really awkward, and I let him go.
I get back on my feet.
Okay.
Orc just kind of like does
Anybody
the
else?
and
Oh.
She
goes off.
she pauses and does the look back.
Oh. Look back.
At least tell us your name.
That's what you ask her?
She kind of
Well,
strides.
he didn't ask her.
She kind of
How
strides
big is her-
back towards you, Orc, but
How big are your tits?
stops within loud talking distance of your wagon. And she takes one quick look back up to the north side of the road, making sure no one's within hearing distance, and she says, "You can call me Jamna."
Jim!
A log jam?
You call me Jim!
The information I was going to share with you, I'll keep for myself.
No, Oric is not laughing hysterically. Oric is listening intently.
Call me Jim!
Unlike his drunken friends, you can just message me what they say. That's fine.
She pauses one final time and says,
Call me Log Jim!
"Shut the fuck up."
What, she's gonna bring like this kung fu master
Here
and
it
log
goes.
Jim to your ass off?
Okay, I'm done.
User
Yeah,
was
he's
moved
put you
out
in
of your
timeout.
channel.
She pauses one last time and looks back to you.
Okay.
And
User was moved to your
yeah,
channel.
you can chance.
sorry.
And she says, "I won't be seeing you again for a while, but you might want to watch out for the Red Wizard who's been lurking amongst those cultists you found."
Oric just does like. Is it like no eyebrows?
You don't know about that.
Oh,
Yeah, his
do
disguise.
I not know about that?
No.
His disguise isn't fooling anyone. Just look for the gentleman with the ridiculous hat.
And I, assume
I saw
it's
his
red.
neck tattoos spilling out the back quite easily when he was in his camp. And she just kind of like does like the turn walk away, puts the hand behind her head like in like and with a wave, and just kind of like walks down the road to the more crowded part of the encampment up ahead.
So just really quick, as a kind of addendum to that, as soon as she told us about like the hook things or whatever, I stepped outside and just barked as much as possible, and I was doing that the entire time all of that happened.
Okay.
I didn't hear any of that, but I want to know if any of those things came out.
Oh.
Like, I'm gonna like look through my puke and see if like that shit came out.
Oh.
Did you look through your cereal bowl or whatever?
You did not see anything come out.
Shit. And then I see her like leave our caravan or like leave our wagon and just take off.
Yep.
I say, wait, what do I do about these things in me?
You're like running after her?
I mean, if I see her like leave our wagon, then just tear off down the street, I'm gonna be like, wait, what do how do I get these things out? Yeah, I will chase her.
Okay.
I will.
I need an answer.
Make an insight check as she begins to reply and describe some things to you. She says, just drink lots of water and pray to your gods. You noticed like there was a slight tick on her face, like when you asked her about getting rid of the thing. Almost like you don't entirely believe her, or if you feel like she's hiding something.
No. Wait, really? How do I do this? I will pay you.
I'll give you money.
Hey, come on, wait. As and I just hold my hands up and I try to get closer to enough where I can at least whisper something to her. It's one harbor to another. Please, we can protect each other.
Oh.
She says,
Yep.
drink
Pot.
so much water that you vomit your guts out several times over, and you should be fine. And she kind of blows you a kiss and like goes into like almost like a hoppy kind of sprint, like the little quick sprightly gnome that she is, and for really reals runs off and disappears.
I owe you one.
You puke on her and she's disappointed.
I carry out her instructions. I will try to find water and then just basically drown myself in it.
Alright.
Keep puking.
Okay. What are you doing with that? The road to Waterdeep's only about 4 or 5 days out at this point. The rest of this day go by pretty uneventfully unless any of you are pursuing anything.
So nobody gets this horrible gut pain in which their intestines bleed out or anything?
I don't know.
I didn't eat anything, right?
Yeah, Orc didn't eat anything. He had the bowl in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a couple of us did.
Did I eat it?
Me and the turtle.
So, listen,
Alright.
if anybody in the party starts feeling incredibly sick,
Oh, that's right, it did.
it's not like you have a cleric in your group that could maybe offer some aid.
And all of you who chowed down, go ahead and roll 3 d20s for me.
Oh,
Come on,
no.
that's the thing.
Who's rolling this? Who's rolling this one?
Oh,
Anyone who chowed
no.
down on some porridge?
Oh, I did not. Okay.
I did. It was great. We
those are
fucked
good-
up bad.
Good high rolls. No, those are good high rolls.
Each and every one of you followed some of the pukey instructions that I'm assuming Krennic shared.
Did I?
And did you?
I did, yeah.
Natsuo, you were starting to feel good. You couldn't tell if it was from the several vomit sessions you had, but by the third time, you finally like kind of wiped your mouth and came up out of your shell, and like, oh, thank God, it just felt kind of normal again. And the rest of you, it took a while as well, but you feel normalish after kind of feeling a bit queasy later into that day.
Got all that bad out of us.
Thank God I was able to get through that puking. So much puke.
Oi, I made that food for you.
The breakfast? No, we got
That's
that
com-
from
communal.
the community.
Gra rolls
is
over on his side. He's like,
last-
"I made that food for you." He's
I will
clearly
never
out of
eat
his
your
mind.
cookie again. I
Oh.
will never have anything you serve me. ever.
Critic,
No, it wasn't our
critic.
What
He's-
was it?
He said he'd never eat my food again, critic.
I'm pretty
Nah,
much shrunk all the time, so
He-
I'm not sure what I consume.
Don't believe him. He'll be fine.
I feel
You'll be
so
fine.
bad. I feel
No,
so bad.
you'll be fine.
I
It's
need to
fine.
poop. I need to poop
go.
bad.
Go as far away this time. Please don't do it right next to the cart again. Please go farther away this
I'm
time.
not going to cry.
At least 50 feet away.
There's poop going over the side of the cart. I couldn't contain it.
Alright, some of it gets in my shell.
I'm not cleaning it this time.
We're having a bad time in the back of the cart.
All right. Depending on your course of action
Poop everywhere.
and all the defecation, Waterdeep is about several days out. You have never seen or spotted this gnome again over the next few days.
Uh-oh.
Unless you're looking for something in particular, doesn't feel like anything's looking for you as far as you can tell at the back of this train.
Ooh,
Um,
we've got Loki. Nice.
I mean, isn't it worthwhile to at least try to find one of the carts, or do we just assume that they're all taking the roadhouse, using that abandoned road past Waterdeep?
Why don't we ask the smart one?
Grimlaw.
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 Let's not. You guys.
Grimlaw's theme.
Let's not make this a thing where we say the smart
I
one and then we
retract
also
my
say
neck a little
Grimlaw.
bit and I go, Grimlaw.
Even the turtle knows about Grimlaw.
9.
No, so Grimlaw. Yeah, the turtle only knows that Grimlaw is the smartest member in the party. He doesn't know why.
He's a savant. He's a straight up savant.
My neck extends out of curiosity.
That's awesome.
9. Do you think that we should start trying to find places, or should we keep a low key and just assume that Gnome's information was correct?
I think the information is probably correct, but I understand the reservations.
Here it comes.
That's all I have. I don't know. I don't have an answer.
Okay.
Nope.
Well, we still have a hat of disguise.
Mhm.
Graw.
Pan over to Gra. He's a barrel.
I do think she is telling the truth, so she could have killed us 7 times over by now.
I mean, yeah, no, I think you're right. I just don't know if it's worthwhile to do more reconnaissance or not. It could it could be more risky, but
What are you
I could-
thinking?
I could try. I could try to be a merchant or something.
I think the more information we have, the better off we are in terms of our mission and what we're supposed to be doing. We've heard that they're going to the roadhouse. I still don't know what that is specifically. You know, maybe there's some information we could glean, or even if we just try to observe some of the carts, or if we have people walk ahead.
We'll utilize this turtle somehow.
I was gonna say, do you think Krennic could observe something silently, like owls
Oh yeah,
could
from
do?
the sky.
Well, I'm also wondering, what if we gave him the hat of disguise for a little bit, and at least let him go on ahead and...
I think this is a good idea.
Well, you gotta become accustomed to this hat of disguise.
Yeah, but we have several days, so we'd have enough time for him to become accustomed to it.
Gra
It's
takes
just-
off the hat of disguise and he puts it on Critic's head, and it fits real nice. and then Gra, his tits shrink down and becomes a man again.
I've tried this. It doesn't work on me.
You gotta put it on for a couple of days, Critic.
I'm pretty familiar with this. You have to rest with it. It has to get to know you.
Go to sleep, Krennic. God.
Sounds really weird.
No, just sleep with it. You gotta sleep with it, baby.
Gotta sleep with it?
Yeah, sleep with it.
I never thought of it that way. It's kind of disgusting.
Wait, did
You
you
gotta
sleep
sleep with it. Yeah.
No, I don't
No,
want
you
this.
gotta
No,
put it.
ew.
Just put it on your head.
Girl, you have to stay in the cart.
What?
Like,
I'll stay with the cart.
No, you have to stay inside it because if you go start going out and wandering around, people kind of notice you.
I'll do it. As long as I can do push-ups, I'll be fine.
Okay, hey, do push-ups right here in the cart. The cart's just doing this.
How do you want me to disguise?
You can wear the hat of disguise and become anything you want to.
Yeah, but
Within 1 meter of yourself.
what do you want?
I'm just thinking the more information we have, the better off we'll be. So, finding a cart of the dragon cultists would be ideal. If you could eavesdrop on them, that would be even more ideal. If you can get any information at all, that's the most ideal, I think.
Biddy, this soundtrack. Good choice.
Okay, yeah.
I
okay.
can go listen.
You could also
Yeah,
go
because
with
you can disguise yourself. Okay. Yeah. All right. I will give this
So
back to you.
we're gonna go as
Look, I got one last thing to say to you guys.
Yeah.
This hat's name is Sporik.
Sporik.
Yeah, Sporik.
Okay.
The hat's name.
Alright, what do you two do?
Bond.
So after a day,
Bond with Sporik.
not the first day, I will attune myself to this hat.
His name is Sporik. God damn it.
This Sporik hat.
Okay.
I feel like we look like we're trying to dress like this to kind of sink in. You know what I mean?
With the rest of the caravan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just
Is that supposed to be moving?
I see,
no.
like.
Okay.
that's what I mean. Like it's just a zoomed in picture of what we're looking at. It's
Alright,
like one day till Daggerford poster art. It's like that's what we look like. Took
Bond
the
with-
character from it.
Bond with Sporik.
Okay, so there's probably about 2 or 3 days to Waterdeep at this point if you take time to attune with this thing and can kind of just carry on this on the trade way. By the time you're attuned, about 2 or 3 days out now, you guys overall look like any other merchants or caravan guards. Like, what's your angle?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Exactly that.
Well, yeah.
I'm staying with the cart because I'm exposed. I'm gonna stay hidden.
Do you think something else, Koenig?
No, well, wine connoisseurs, that really worked well.
Yeah.
We have like a wagon or something, right? Like we're
Oh,
part
yeah.
of
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
So-
as far as I know, all you guys are in the wagon, and like your
Yeah.
2 sneaky guys are kind of
I'm
creeping up ahead.
continuing to stay in the wagon because I'm easily like.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm
someone might
with
recognize me.
I'm with the
definitely
turtle.
recognized.
I have no hat. I'm with the
Alright.
turtle.
All right, spotlight's on the owl and the cat right now. What are you guys doing?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
okay,
what was
so
your other idea?
Yeah. No, it was just trying to act as wine connoisseurs and also if I can trade for a recipe, I will.
Yeah, do it.
Before we leave, I will tell Gra. Gra, you can start trying to get the berries together. Like we gathered berries in these couple of days, and so you could try doing this wine. And then I give you the
Yeah.
recipe.
Gra, he starts immediately trying to wine. He just get barrels out. He's
And-
kicking them
Yeah.
over. He's
Matsu offers help.
In the interest of time movement, you're doing that. Creepy guys, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Moving forward.
Moving forward, looking for suspicious folk. Gonna try to verify that eyebrows guy has tattoos on his neck.
Okay.
I mean, his hat didn't seem remarkable, did it?
It covered his head and had ear flaps and like covered a large
Okay.
portion of
It's
his
like
head.
a little Canadian hat.
Yep.
I'm also looking to see if anybody's talking about the Red Wizard, or if we hear anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just super perceptive to conversations.
Actually, you know what we could do? Because you described that hat in a weird way, I think we should just cruise by Fandul's we'll circle and see if I can catch him again. See how that Carver's cider. Oh no, shit, that wasn't me though. Actually, no. Okay, if I can find Fandle, what I'm gonna do is like drop the disguise around a corner and be like, "Nine, trust me," and then go and talk to him and see if like his boss is the no, we can't just ask him if his boss is the Red Wizard. That's weird. That doesn't work either.
As you're spitballing ideas as you stroll through the camp during the lunch break here, 9, make a perception check.
Uh-oh.
With Steam Controller, yes sir, I will.
You rolled 21.
And perception.
Uh-oh.
You are enraptured with Krennic's
I'm lost on his spitballing
rambling and expansive list of potential ideas. Do you want to pinpoint one of them?
I mean, we could just wander aimlessly, or but no, we know that funny hat guy is over there. But I was thinking we could use an insider, but nah, that's not gonna work because we can't just ask his boss is Red Wizards.
Let's just go to the tavern and
Krennic.
listen in on some conversations.
Can make a perception check.
Who?
Krennic.
Okay, yeah. I double clicked it.
Oh,
Yes,
you perceive.
All right. You ramble. You kind of like look just past Krennic and see sat down and eating lunch. The Thandel and some of the others that you recognize from or heard of from that night. You don't see the man with the hat, but their wagon, their covered wagon, is definitely nearby.
Yeah, okay, we're disguised, so Fanda won't recognize me. That's good. And I'm gonna disguise myself as like some random dude from the previous caravan.
Okay.
Someone like we haven't seen before, so just like
Alright.
a regular commoner. Well, I mean, like nicer dressed because we're merchants. We're also wine connoisseurs. A lot of people are wine connoisseurs. It's fine.
Okay.
No big deal.
Yeah, no big deal. And then let's cool. So that, and I point Fandel out and be like, so he's cool. He gave us the recipe for the wine. It's gonna be amazing, Ross. He's working on it right now. Anyway, we should see if we can find the funny hat guy, because that matches the description that the gnome girl gave us. So let's circle it. See if we can see.
Okay. Funny
those,
hats.
Funny hats, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Both of you make a perception check as you you're walking.
Oh, no!
Oh, 15, 20.
9. Just as
don't see
Krennic
anything.
kind of causes a scene, and some of the people having lunch like get up. What are you doing near the wagon? Like you take the opportunity to go around the other side of it.
Mm-hmm.
And you spot 2 figures inside the wagon. One of them definitely wearing thick, heavy robes and some kind of hat.
What color?
Dark grayish robes.
Okay.
Anything
Cool.
you'd like to do with that, or
Can I see Krennic?
you can hear a few people like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?"
I'm like, oh, I'm
Sneaking
sorry.
around.
I'm just. No, I'm not. No, I'm sneaking. I'm just walking by. I did notice your
I can-
wagons have like really nice wheels.
Fuck, I don't know what to do. Sidebar for a second, like bathroom sidebar kind of thing, you know?
Sure, yeah.
What do you want to call it? What do we want for the guy with this guy with the funny hat?
Because she was telling us the dude with the tattoos was
Yes.
the suspicious looking dude who's like in charge of the bad shit that's going around.
Okay.
I don't have much context other than like this dude is the dude we need to be
All
looking
right,
out for.
then I just circle back around to Krennic and I say, oh, excuse me, my friend, we just got the lost. We are going this way, and I just
As
kind
he
of
pulls me away, I'm like, yeah, but those are really nice wheels. Good suspension.
I look at the cart again to see if there's any signifying landmarks on it or anything I can easily point out again if I look for it.
You feel like with like a lot of the other wagons around, like, you know, nothing spectacular, but you would definitely be able to pick it out again.
Okay, and I tell Krennic what I just saw in that wagon as we kind of scoot away.
It's the guy with the hat. Did he have any tattoos on his neck?
It didn't look that far.
That's
You
the thing.
you can kind of see like the silhouette of the figure and maybe get a glimpse of him from a distance, but
Oh, really? A distance?
You can peek again.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I like went around the cart.
Let's try to peek again. We're gonna make a loop, but this time I'm gonna disguise myself as like a completely different person. Like I'm gonna do like an
Minor
old
illusion.
woman. Yeah, I'm like an old woman now.
Yeah.
I'm just fucking looking.
From Snow White.
Yeah, exactly. And then I'll definitely avoid the caravan or anything. But I just want to like see if I can like peek in and see like does he have tattoos?
I mean, how close are you getting?
You know what? The hood's up. I'm gonna stealth in.
Okay.
Touch him.
Closer as an
Okay,
old
there we go.
woman.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah.
And then and I say, and I tell him that I'm like, I could use a distraction.
I say, already ahead of you. I wink and I strum the guitar and I give him bardic inspiration
Okay.
for his little journey here.
Krennic, you utilize your headpiece here and change your looks and begin trying to sneak in towards the wagon. Yeah.
Oops.
Yep.
Yeah. And I go to the other side and I just start kind of strumming a little bit more, a little loudly, a little louder than normal.
Okay, so then I'm going to advantage on stealth.
Not advantage.
Holy
but
fuck!
not
No, I got my
advantage.
cloak up, so it's
Oh.
advantage on stealth check.
Ah.
But it doesn't fucking matter because the highest one's a 3.
You can still roll a d6.
Okay,
Bardic
I'm gonna roll.
inspiration.
I'm gonna roll the
I forgot
d6.
about the cloak.
Oh.
9, 10, 11.
Um,
11.
You realize that not everyone is enraptured by actually, yeah, not everyone's enraptured by the performance by 9.
I remember you have. Oh.
He
I
used
used it,
for a grand
saw
total of
that.
11.
and I'm using it to try to get as close as possible, like without being noticed.
Yeah.
But I am still gonna follow through with the plan of like getting like in my eyes in that caravan, and be like, does he have
Okay.
tattoos?
Go ahead and make a perception check. You can't tell, and honestly, you are not able to stay looking in that window for very long enough to really see much without drawing attention as you just step on a branch, do something. Like you get a quick glance in there. You see the person described having a conversation with somebody inside their wagon.
Okay.
But you just kind of like peek in, like, oh, someone saw you, heard you. It's very obvious you're there.
Right, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna do something real stupid, and I'm just gonna like, so there's like a hole in their wagon or
Yeah.
where I can basically just like go right up to it as this old woman and be like, "Excuse me, I'm lost. Where may I find?
I just hear this and I'm like,
source
oh
of
god.
this delicious smell." And I'm hoping this
gross.
dude with the weird hat
Yeah.
just looks at me. I'm trying to get see if
Okay.
he can get another look.
I like it. Yeah. Roll another perception check.
Oh god, please! This is all I got.
Oh, okay.
That smells so good in your camp.
He makes another hand signal like to the person with him and just gestures like, get this out here. But like when he turns and signals in your direction, you do see that his hat, the ear flaps are currently up and like along like the back of his ears. You see no hair, like probably a shaved head as well, and the lines of some archaic symbols that look like some sort of tattoo.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
The person's for like, madam, please.
Oh, sorry. Could you help me? I'm
It's just kind of shooing you.
lost.
Yeah, it's kind of just like
I'm
pushing
so
you back
horny.
from the cart.
Okay.
And like, yeah, and then they get down the stairs like, yes,
I coming.
please go back to your people wherever you come from.
I
I
think it
just
was
need
this
to bang
way.
you.
This way, and I just start walking that way.
Okay.
And I try to get around a corner and like switch my disguise to the merchant guy that I was earlier, the beard and human and
Okay.
nicer clothes.
I just need to bang all the time.
And then I walk around the corner and look around for 9. Oh shit, 9's gone. 9.
Did I
Yeah.
say
I start
that?
looking around. Where did 9 go?
I thought that was right too.
It's ball's kind of in your court, depending on how active you want to be. You've been kind of shooed away from this camp after gleaning what you could.
Yeah.
You have about 2 days, and the rest of this particular day left before this caravan will arrive in Waterdeep.
Right.
You know that was many people's final destination, and where things go from there, you're not sure. But Waterdeep is a very large city.
So as we reconvene back into the wagon,
Mm-hmm.
we'll say, okay, the dude with the funny hat is the guy with the tattoos on the back of his head.
Oh my god.
Verified. So, what do we do about him?
I think the best plan of action is to go to sleep.
Kill him, right? Yes. Let's do this.
I'm actually with you, man. I'm so tired right now.
Yeah.
Balls are so old.
My balls are so tied.
Oh. But I think we think about it all week and we come up with a great plan.
We can make a whole big plan out of this.
And then also, can we make sure we get a recap of what she said about this guy again? So
I'm gonna need that
think
recap so
I
hard.
think I missed the last 20 minutes.
She
Yep.
Jamna said to watch out for the red wizard, the gentleman with the ridiculous hat.
She
He is the
implied
Red Wizard.
she implied why she was curious about the presence of a red wizard traveling with these cultists to the north,
Right. Okay, he's a dragon.
and thanked you for the
That son
confirming
of
the
a
information
bitch.
she was after and
Yep.
left.
Okay, cool.
Did she tell us what the information she was looking, what she was after that she got?
No, but she was interested when you mentioned that they were hauling wagons full of valuables.
Last I
gotcha.
knew, I was hanging out with Oric, right?
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Yep.
That felt like a million years ago.
Yeah.
Do we know anything about red wizards? Would Oric or
Yeah.
anybody who's part of a thing know what a red wizard
I
is?
mean,
I was
as
part
a
of a
dragon
thing, for
cultist,
sure.
I would
Generally, red wizards. Well, they're called red wizards of Thay, from this sort of sorcerer empire to the east, past the deserts of Anorok, and they're generally considered not always evil, but kind of more on the neutral, we do what serves our most pragmatic interest, and then sometimes often evil.
Moron.
You do know from your experience back in El Turil that you heard that tale and some rumors about the status politically of what was going on in Thay, and that one of their main rulers, kind of like a ruling council of red wizards in some respects, had been murdering other ones and turning to dark necromantic ways.
Oh.
So there's that.
There's that.
And then
There's
just in
zombies.
terms of the game world in general, they're not looked upon. No one's usually very happy to see a red wizard.
Okay.
All right.
That would be pretty common gut reaction wisdom, I think, for most people living in this area. Cool.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
We'll see where this all goes. It's been an interesting challenge trying to do something that was like a road trip with not a lot of combat. So hopefully hopefully it's not too dull. But
We
it's
made
almost
John,
at the
you
end
didn't
of
see any combat.
almost at the end of the road, but definitely a bit different. So
I hope I
That-
did okay.
I
That
liked
was
it.
fun.
No, Sean, you did fine. You did really good.
Yeah, man.
Alright.
definitely
Later,
not a
dudes.
normal thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're not.
That was my
Yeah.
first time ever.
Yes.